Report with Mickie K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
What are you Into the darkness you shine. Out of the ashes we rise. There's no one like you. None like you. Our God is greater. Our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer. Awesome in power. Our God. Our God. Our God is greater. Our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer. Awesome in power. Our God. Our God. And if our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? And if our God is with us, then what can stand against? And if our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? And if our God is with us, then what can stand against? Stand against. darkness you shine. Out of the ashes we rise. There's no one like you. None like you. Our God is greater. Our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer. Awesome in power. Our God. Our God. Our God is greater. Our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer. Awesome in power. Our God. Our God. And if our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? And if our God is with us, then what can stand against? And if our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? And if our God is with us, then what can stand against? Stand against.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Time check. 28 minutes past the hour of 6 o'clock. And you're listening to the Ground Report. Yours truly, the Pitbull of radio in studio. Mr. Pleasant, good morning to each and every one of you that are locked on.
Awesome in power. Our God.
Madeira, Nathaniel, Nazali, your Brady Bunch,
Our God is greater. Our God is strong.
Deborah, Roger, Damien, Afriza D. Mohammed,
Our God is healer. Awesome in power. Our God. Our God.
Nazali and Mr. Ali.
If our God
Glory,
is, then who could-
Bernadette, good morning to you.
and if our God is
Salman Batiste, good morning. Matilda,
stand against,
Gloria Escala, pleasant good morning. Anne Brown, Robin,
who could ever stop us?
Noel, good morning.
God is with us, and what can stand against? Stand against.
Noel Rubin, man. Morning to you. Joyce, good morning. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Hey Amina, good morning to you. Bernadette, good morning. Michael, Sonita, Shuma Williams, good morning. Jason, Sukdir, Marlene. Hey Sean Smith, good morning. You and your wife, eh? Anthony, good morning. That's Carmona. Edwards, eh? All Bernadettes, a pleasant good morning to you all. Penny Khan, Rick, Peter Samlal Singh, good morning. Ronald Lewis, Anderson Lewis, Anderson Lewis, Anderson Lewis, yeah, Anderson Lewis. I forget. The Beatam, morning Beatam. Oh, Anderson Wilson, sorry. On the Beatam, all the Beatam people here, pleasant good morning. And is Roger, is Ronald Wilson. Philip, good morning. Hey, Giovanni Jack Group, good morning. Judy, June. Jody June. Mr. Clarence, good morning to you. Hey, Sensible, good morning. Krishna, good morning. Pamela, good morning. William Sanders, good morning. Samuel, good morning. Marilyn C. Charan, a pleasant good morning. Diane, good morning. Anne-Marie Armin, good morning. Matilda Rhodes, good morning. Baby, good morning to you. Teacher Balmain. Video in Vancouver. That whole bunch, good morning. Stephanie George, good morning. Bujam John, a pleasant good morning to you. Sabrangani, good morning to you. Carmen. Dexter Tobas, good morning. Radha, good morning. Raghu Nanan, yes, good morning. Nigel Black, good morning. Nichols, good morning, Nichols. 007, good morning to you. Annie Abraham, good morning. Michael Scotland, good morning. Kamala Samlal Singh, good morning. Neil De Silva, a pleasant good morning to you. And Delia, your beautiful wife and daughter, all of your family, good morning. Hey, Tony, Jail, Tony, good morning. Cyril, good morning. Arup Chan Singh, good morning for Cyril. Survivor, good morning to you. All Annies, good morning. Miss Brooklyn, a pleasant good morning. Miss Lawrence, good morning to you. Miss Lorna, good morning. Miss Santa Cruz, a pleasant good morning. Annette Drakes, good morning. Davey, good morning. Drobati, good morning. Harry Lal. Hey, Miss Roadbrook, a pleasant good morning. Bobby, good morning to you. Rusty Nail, good morning. Big Ram, good morning to you. Dennis C. Paul and Johnny, good morning to you all. Kabul, good morning. Gaza Trini, good morning. Joyce Ram. Afreeza D. Mohammed. A pleasant good morning to you, Davy C. Prasad. 8 and 8 doubles and roti, good morning to you. Hey, Raquel, good morning. Wow. V saying good morning. All Bernettes, good morning. Tara, good morning to you. All Taras, good morning. Rupert, good morning. Nice, I know seeing some of you, man. Rambo Ali, good morning. Dion, you there already? Ready? Hell. Roma Price, good morning. How are you going, girl? We're going to be the talk this morning. Remember, there's only one kind of talk here, them could talk, eh? Or how they could talk. I feel the talk going to be that they fire, they clean out the RP head office finally, where all the Monty played. Obviously, eventually, it's still reopen, maybe by now on the budget. And to install our people. It is what it is.
Bang, 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 bang.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
But if you rush reforms that they have to make and changes that have to make in URP, now with that happen, then management structure will be hired at the head office, and then from there the various URP locations all over will be opened back and people will be hired. But yeah, but how to do work, eh? Yeah, I hear how to do work. You had at least come out there and do some work. It's in the area. No more ghosts. No more ghosts. Alright, so as I don't show that day, that ought to be the topic, eh, papas? I want to hear that in my head at all. The government got to do what I got to do. The condition name will be hot. Oh boy, Darren, good morning. Thanks for locking on. Roll Passat, good morning. Mr. Clarence, good morning to you. And Faye, good morning. Dave, out there in Canada, good morning. Mr. Ramnarain, I see your missed calls. I tried to call you back, but I didn't get through. But good morning to you. Mr. Tabakit, good morning. COP, good morning, brother. Adish, Akash, run the line. What's up, my brother? Good morning to you. I ain't see you hailing me these days at all. What happened? You fixing me or what? You who's your partner? Morning, bar for all of you.
Doing Poiso lyrics right here in Trinbago. Poiso is lyrics without gimmicks. This Poiso was written for the 11th of the 9th, 2025. It's called...
Oh boy, too long. That 8 minutes, man. 8 minutes. Wow. That's a little too long.
Morning, Gummy Boy. I would like Lennox to verify this picture. And which media house is the person that take this picture. Because you're already denying it. You understand? They would make it look like artificial intelligence. But to me, that don't look so at all. He on one end, the man in the middle, and our ex-national security minister signed the paper. So that I feel they put that together. I feel like a real picture. And it's time that the Express or the Guardian, whoever it is, come out and clarify that. And let them know the 4th of December where they signed that. Because this was signed on the 4th of December 2024. So I don't feel that is like making. We know all these king like take the belt for line, the crown for line, everything. Yes, I better no public service. And the amount of abundance of lie. I seen a tape with somebody showing us where he denying this picture that ever take place. I would like Mr. Lennox, the brainiac, to clarify that for the people. I know Lennox will dig up and have the facts straight. Right? Thank you.
Morning, Andy. Morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Morning, Gong Report. Let's listen to Miss Sandy Gandhi there. She has some good point. This is my opinion. This is my opinion, right? If the police and them, it's alleged, I'm just saying something. If the police and them involved with the gang leaders and them, right? Okay, who is searching the police vehicle? If in case they are involved in gang dealing and drugs, who is there to search the police vehicle from transporting drugs? That's the perfect thing, you know. Who's searching the police vehicle if they are transporting drugs for the drug dealers? You understand? And the next thing too, how come all this put on all the bright light when all they're going to look for somebody, all they're warning the criminals to run before they come? Because all they want to catch them. So this is my opinion. Okay, if a police is involved in gang leaders, right? Who is searching the police vehicle if they are transporting drugs and ammunition for the gang? So who would search them? You understand? Who's searching the police? The police searching the citizens and the criminal. Who's searching the police that are involved in the vehicles, right? Who's searching the police vehicle that if they are transporting drugs and guns to certain areas? You think anybody going to stop a police vehicle and search them? So all I think is common sense.
Good morning, Ground Report. Andy Williams, Lennox, Mickie. Andy Williams, I am appalled to see the state of my country and what my country has become. The country is overgrown with grass, weeds, and bushes, right? I am from San Fernando, and the place is in a terrible mess. When I sit down in my house, I get bitten by a lot of mosquitoes. There's no spraying, there's no cleaning of drains, removal of garbage is not timely, and as a result, no grass is being cut due to CPIP. Now I remember that CPIP was closed down by this administration, and I believe it was transferred now. Regional corporations are mandated to cut and clean the grass. Andy Williams, every single day, my whole skin is full of mosquito bites. I had to spray my house with citronella oil, use my mosquito racket, because you see how the place is very warm and it's overgrown with grass. There's a lot of mosquitoes in the community. And apart from that too, the country is looking like a massive dump. Sometimes when you're driving and seeing piles of rubbish at the side of the road, trees growing and branches coming into the road, etc. And it is ridiculous, ridiculous, ridiculous. So I am wondering, what is the plan from here? Because there's no CPEP, right? People lost their jobs and the country is in a stink condition. It's like a dump. When you drive through Oropoon Gardens, Cashew Gardens, right? Pleasantville and other places, right? You're seeing tall trees stretching over and leaning over into the roadway and bushes and vines everywhere. And apart from that too, when the place is not being clean, it is encouraging a lot of crapo and snakes and rats to come into people's houses. This is ridiculous, man, ridiculous. I thought that seeing that CPEP was closed down, there would be an immediate contingency plan, but CPEP closed and nothing is being done. And the thing is, when the pre
Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Bang, 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 bang.
Previous administration was in power and they were not maintaining the country. And apart from that too, when the place is not being clean, it is encouraging a lot of crapo and snakes and rats to come into people's houses. This is ridiculous, man, ridiculous. I thought that seeing that CPEP was closed down, there would be an immediate contingency plan, but CPEP closed and nothing is being done. And the thing is, when the previous administration was in power and they were not maintaining the country, this administration criticized them very heavily and harshly for the condition, but like this, and it's the same thing happening, and nobody cares. The country needs to be cleaned up. It is very stink. When you have a lot of mosquitoes multiplying, right, and flying and biting people, that is dengue. And I want to mention, the roads in San Fernando are at an appalling condition. There are sinkholes everywhere, potholes, swimming pools, ponds, right? Roads are cracking and no maintenance is taking place. Please address this situation.
Bang, 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 bang.
Hear me, name one.
morning, caller. Where you calling from? What's your contribution on the ground report this morning?
Good morning. I had to go quick and turn off my curry chicken because I didn't want it to burn because of all what I have to say this morning. Andy, here now. I want to say good morning to the miracle worker that they call Kamala Prasad Bissetsa. That from the minute Kamala came into office, the deaf was hearing, the dumb speaking and the blind seeing, right? Now we have a Minister of Environment to deal with the crap out, the snakes, the mosquito and everybody. I want to ask a question. Who dumped in the rubbish? Who dumped it? I never, Andy, are you listening to me?
Loud and clear, loud, yes.
Yeah, because I hear, I hear, why I'm asking, I'm hearing the talking in the background now.
Oh, no,
right?
It's not this side. Go ahead.
Okay, all right, but it's neither me. All right, okay. Yeah, Andy. Everybody get back on their senses and thing now. But I was asking, who dumped the rubbish? Who dumped it? It certainly wasn't me. It certainly wasn't you. And I never know CPAP used to clean up rubbish. I never know that. Andy, I will have to call back. I'll have to call back.
All right, because there's nothing on here, nothing in the background. So I know what's going on. Lucky thing you take off that chicken curry. Curry chicken, boss man, you ain't easy now, boy. Boss man, you make my day this morning, yes, boy? Where the hell, boss man, complaining about. Boss man, now, boy. Boss man, you're good. Boss man, move from boss.
Yeah, Andy, sorry about that, eh?
Yeah.
I was getting up. Right. Yeah. Andy, he moved from the bus. He come off the bus, so he gone in the environment. Right? So why? But Andy, the state of the country was like this for the last 100 and how much days, Andy? What today's? Today's the 11th, right? 134 days. The country was always stink for the last 10 years. I never hear busman talk about that, right? Busman had to buy $600. So what for that? What happened for that? You come in here to complain now with the dog, you jump off the bus now, you jump into the Ministry of Environment. Oh, here now, Andy, let me tell you something, eh? This thing is looking so obvious. It is looking so obvious that you have to talk about it. You have to talk about it. You hear? Now, you know, you display a tape. I hear they calling my name or something, so I wanted to play it for me. I hear they calling my name. Andy, they calling my name. You hear? And I want to tell all of them who feel that I have no education, right? And I'm going to call the person name this morning. Julia Davy, let me tell you something. I have more education than you. I am older than you and I have more education than you. My parents pay for my education, okay? I didn't get it for free. And I built up myself because, Andy, I'll share something with you. 2 ambitions I had growing up as a child, from the time I could walk and talk, is either to be a teacher, that was my first ambition. And as I got older, was to be a pediatric nurse. Unfortunately, Andy, it didn't pan out because of finances. Because, you know, in those days, in the 60s we're talking about it, was harder than now, right? Andy, I worked hard to achieve that goal. And then I couldn't get there. And I branched out into the private sector. I never worked. I was no lazy public servant. I worked hard in the private sector for a number of years. Okay? So when they want to feel that they could come and point fingers at me, my first job was in the punch, you know, as no porn star, you know, Andy. Okay?
Yes,
I did well from the time I entered school. I did well. So who want to come and point fingers at me? Let them come. Let them bring it on. Let them bring it on. And I hear in the next one on a PNM platform.
I hear them, you know. I hear them. They on the same Pitbull and they're trying to be me answer. Up to now, when I hear them thing, up to now, me say boo. I just listen.
No, you see, because Andy, I don't know why it is that they feel they're of the impression that I am illiterate. But Andy, the way I speak, The way I bring out issues and things, is that sounds like
No,
an
no, no.
illiterate
Very,
person
no,
to all
no.
you, although I don't owe them no explanation, you know. And I have a photographic memory. You hear, that was God gift to me. I did well growing up. I did well in my studies. I was no failure. Right? And you're here now, our next failure who don't even know how he get in to prestigious school, coming to talk about a troll, a racist troll. But you know, Andy, the next person talking about racist troll, they'll have to prove it, you know. A racist troll is sitting on a board that deals with communication. Andy, in all the years that you all have known me, look at the group of my friends. Have I ever displayed any kind of racism towards anybody? But you see, Andy, when the argument is lost, they pull out the race card. That's what they do. But that gentleman should look good inside the PNM and see who's the big racist. It wasn't me that say I feel I was in Bangladesh or Delhi. It wasn't me who said the UNC people like they're from the Murky Lagoon and watch them in the eye and drag the bodies in their hat. No, it wasn't me. And it wasn't me that was on no radio and TV station, right? Cussing up Indian people, telling people to jump the wall, break down the door, deal with them. And Indian people was walking with sapat and lights in the head with orni. It wasn't me. So when all you want to talk about racism, take a good look in the mirror. Take a good look in the mirror before all you cast aspersion on people. And the majority of my friends are African people.
I see that.
Why would I practice racism?
That.
Yes. Why would I practice racism? Yesterday, I saw a girl that I grew up with, where I used to live, growing up in the village I grew up with. I saw her on Duke Street. And the Negro girl, and the way we were hugging one another, people passing the taxi and watching. I don't discriminate. Why should I? Why should I? Anybody ask me for help, Andy, and once I could do it, Andy, I am doing it. I am helping. I am helping anybody who wants my help. But, there's a but, eh? Don't come and no stupidness by me. Don't come and no stupidness by me. Right? And you see this nonsense that they want to put out there? Let them continue beating the drum. Because they're sounding just like a bunch of empty vessels banging on the pavement looking for relevance. Right? They could say what they want. They could say what they want about me. It really don't bother me now. But you know what? I had to raise it this morning. Right? I am no racist troll. I am a genuine person. I come here, I go all over, and I raise issues. Issues that nobody else they don't want to raise, or I bring it through to people, because one of all their taglines is proper information, right? And before I leave, I want to say, well, I wasn't here yesterday, but I usually replay the program when I come back home and while I'm doing whatever listening. And Andy, I had a good joke yesterday that I was rolling with laughter. This morning I remember that I'm still rolling with laughter. That I hear somebody say, let me repeat what I say, because you don't have people here like to make confusion. Well, Andy, I nearly did. And we talking, and they went on other radio station spreading lies and propaganda, but coming to talk about who like to make like to make confusion or whatever. Well, look, I had a good one. And one more thing I want to ask before I leave, Andy. Did you all ever find out what happened to the PNM talk show host who was collecting money from the Ghost URP special project? Did you all ever find you all know if anybody found out who it was, right? Because apparently that's a secret, That's a secret. They were drawing $10,000 a month from special project, No work being done or anything. But you ain't hearing a word in English about that. Not a word. But I want to remind all of those, Andy, all you who was with the PNM, jump out the UNC, went to the PNM, and because UNC win now, all you feel they're coming back here, right? To pretend, but all you have is scarlet letter on all you. Mocking pretenders. Right, Andy? Thanks a lot, and you take care and have a good morning. Let me go and finish cook now. Thank you.
Oh boy, Mike Williams, good morning to you. Leon Charles, good morning.
Good morning, Ground Report. Trinidad is the country which is suffering the most with this U.S. sanction on Venezuela. Maduro is exporting oil to China. The U.S. is, through Exxon, is taking out oil from Venezuela. Last year, Venezuela had its highest export of oil. Trinidad cannot explore Mannequin Field nor the Dragon Deal. We also have a 15% tariff with the U.S., while the rest of the Caribbean was given a 10% tariff. We must be given at least a 3 decades license to explore Mannequin Field and the Dragon Deal. Good morning, Ground Report. So we need to ask the U.S. for what we want. We must get relief with the sanctions on the oil exploration of Mannequin Field and Dragon Deal. While Venezuela is not our friend or even a friendly neighbor, we must not give open and free support to the U.S. without getting anything. Perhaps the U.S. came down here to ensure that there is free elections in Guyana, but the U.S. has recently realized that they are being encircled by China in the Caribbean, in Latin America, and in South America. For example, only recently, the U.S. had to fight off an effort by China to take over fully the Panama Canal. Remember what Henry Kissinger said, America only has interests. They have no enemies, permanent enemies or permanent friends. And in dealing with the U.S., you must realize that it is bad enough to be the U.S. enemy, but even fatal to be the U.S. friends. So we must ask the U.S. for what we want and must not give them anything freely, because they will not be giving us anything freely. Thank
Morning, Andy. Morning, Lennox. Morning, Ground Report. Mike W. here. Andy, I agree with you fully. I am a selfish Trinidadian. Right now, Trinidadians need to have all the opportunities available in the country, and you cannot have Venezuelans taking away the jobs, first of all. They're taking away people's husband. Some of them must be taking away people's wife. I am not sure, but I think, didn't most of them in the beginning come into Trinidad illegal, and then they gave them some kind of status in the Oval? So they didn't come in properly in the first place. I believe the way to go about it, this is just my opinion, they need to stop the inflow, right? While sending them back, even before sending them back to, the priority should be stopping them coming anymore. All these little fishing villages on the outskirts of Trinidad where the influx is coming, would be a good idea to set up some soldiers or some stations that could monitor these fishermen 24/7 and stop the inflow. then any of those Venezuelans who are serving sentences have been charged, they need to be sent back. And any of them that are working in bars and all that, the cops should be just making raids and sending them back. And then any areas where they're being employed for less money, whether they're being used by the contractors, which is not my business, send them back, charge the contractors. You could clean up the country with this Venezuelan problem, because you rightly said this morning, they're taking part in crime. How many people know you could pay a Venezuelan, how easy to take out people? That is what I'm hearing from friends in Trinidad. And, I believe you're 100% right. Unfortunately, some people might say, well, they have the good ones who's good neighbors and trying to make something good of this. Unfortunately, this is Trinidad and Tobago. This is not Venezuela. So in order to take care of the country, every Venezuelan will have to go back, I find, because it's unfair. My father-in-law started going Mount Hope and line up all day and don't get the medication, and all these Venezuelans get, for what I'm hearing, getting things that the Trinidadians can't get in the services. Fairness is fairness, right? If Trinidadians, everybody was okay, and Venezuelans were migrating and they're getting help, that would have been fine. But Trinidadians need help. You gotta help your own first. Anyhow, Andy, good program. And again, this is my opinion. I believe in what you're saying. We need to send them back, because Trinidadians first, right? Trinidadians first. All right, my brother. Have a good day.
Pleasant good morning, Mikey, Lennox, and Andy. Andy, well, the Prime Minister is saying, well, what she have to do and what she doing. I guess she 100%, that she go ahead and do what she have to do. You cannot be a little coward. You cannot be a little timid. You have to do what you have to do, and she doing it. You understand? Yeah, so don't everybody believe, oh no, she's supposed to say that, say that. Say it. Say it. Because any Trinidadian has something to tell you, they're telling you as it is. So let she tell them as it is. Do whoever it is want to come, look for bodies and all that thing. Or look, we go send it for in an email or something, you understand? We have no time for that. We have no time to waste money. You understand? But again, let me get some of the defense force soldiers and them on the borderline, boy. Put them down there, don't wait. You understand? We can get them defense force and them and put them up, and protect them citizens and them down there temporarily self. Put them down there. But anyhow, as the saying goes, small acts, this cut down big trees, eh? So when Kamala doing she thing, and they tell her she's small and she looking weak, she do what she had to do. Alright, blessings. Pleasant good morning again. Andy, this one is a quick one. Yeah, they want to deport the Venezuelans, and which I agree to 101%. But you give Penny go say and tell you human rights, you can't send them, because remember, them bring them in, so they ain't gonna want to send them back out. So I just saying, Penny go get upset with you, what you saying, Penny on your case too, you understand? So maybe just, do what we have to do now. But one of your callers was really saying, be on the SOE, and they should be get scoop up. Scoop them up, man. Yeah, and if you do that, at least when that end now, we will have a smaller volume outside, and you might pick up some criminals inside that down there, and they should start doing that. Blessings.
Morning, Andy. Morning, Mickie. Morning, Ground Report. Morning, Lennox, Trinidad and Tobago. Andy, I just want to touch on two topics. Firstly, I want to say all these bennies and them, we should just round up everybody who don't have the papers, send them back. We're not renewing again. You understand? When crime, whatever, or they catch up with them, send them back to their country. Secondly, I want to talk about Morning Andy, morning Mighty K, morning Lennox, Trinidad and Tobago. Andy, I just want to touch and say that I supported my Prime Minister 100% on how she stands. She needs to talk with, authority and show them that not just because she's a woman, but she in charge and, we're not putting up with any stupidness anybody want to threaten our country or our citizens. You understand? I stand with her 100%. Because if Rowley and them was in government, Andy, who you think the U.S. guns would be pointing at? Trinidad and Tobago too? Because, Maduro is his partner. You understand? And secondly, I want to talk about the Venezuelans. You rounds up and look for them who don't have the papers, Andy, who in crime. You understand? Send them back. We're not renewing no contracts again. Who get through the papers? I don't know if they're going to renew or not, but we're not renewing no contract again with nobody new and them kind of thing. You understand? We need to get back over Trinidad and Tobago. And we really don't want a war in this place. You understand? So thank you and have a good day. One other thing I forgot to tell you. In the east-west corridor, you see like from Dinsley and Takarika going down all the way to Tunapuna, is a real kind of bottleneck traffic, boy. I don't know. The traffic wardens come out and we know them is for traffic, them is to create traffic. When them there, it's worse. So better they don't be there, the traffic just flow better. I don't know what really going on there, Andy. I live right in the area. My son going to school right there. Just now I got to leave 6 o'clock to reach right here because it's almost at hour 1 something in traffic from right Twin City to Tunapuna right there. See what you can find out about an Andy, what they could do. They have a lot of streets that put one way and all kind of thing. I really don't know what's going on. Thank you.
Good morning, Andy. I agree with all what you're saying, right, with these Venezuelan migrants. Because I just listened to international news with Trump, and he's sending back all them migrants. And I heard the other day he said that he cutting out all the food stamp from these people. They have to go and get work. I agree with Kamala. Send back all of them because they're not doing nothing to benefit the country. They're using up all our resources. Right? They're not doing nothing. They ain't paying health surcharge. They're doing nothing. And we have to pay all these things for them. Put all them on the plane and send them back. Yes, Andy. Another two. These Venezuelans, they know how to live, right? Because there's a set of them renting a room. So when you do so, then hardly paying rent, there is small money each of them are paying. And when they get their money, they taking the money and send it to the family, right? And if you take a dollar to the Venezuelan money, that real plenty money, they're sending to the family. So why Davakita and others might feel sorry for them? These Venezuelans know how to maneuver themselves. They know how to live, right? And we have to pay taxes for them. We have to get in small money. That's why these people, that is why Trinidadians, they don't want to work. Because these business people not paying properly, and these Venezuelans, they will go and work for small money and set them renting a room, right? And all of them paying little money, put up the money, all them putting up money and they're paying for the room and sending the money to the family. Andy, is Rowley and Stuart Young what have these Venezuelans here? That is why this place like that, anybody coming in as they like, doing what they like. These Venezuelans all over the place. Is he will tell us to open our doors for these Venezuelans. And now look at that. They're catching the skin now to get rid of these people.
boy. Morning, Timothy.
Morning, Andy. Good morning. Good morning. Morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Andy, I don't like what you do sometimes, Andy. I called a couple of times. And put me in hold and other people calling 2 or 3 times. And if we have somebody else talking long and back and nonsense. Let me tell you something. I listened to all the conversation yesterday, and it's very disturbing. And one man just come to live in the United States, and he knows everything and talk about immigrant like himself. I understand that people come in crime and people come to make a living here. But you're talking about some people living in whole different, or they're living in different place, apartment, how many people living in. I don't know their problem. I don't know where these people living. It's not concern me. It's not concern.
We barely hear it. We more hearing the engine of the truck, Rick. You had to give me something clean out. Try the next voice note and see. By hearing, you ain't like certain things, something so thing, but in between you're hearing. I'm going to try the next one and see.
And they again, I'm not fortunate like some people, right? The hell I passed through in Trinidad, I had to leave and run. Right? I'm not fortunate like them. No? Nobody helped me here. Nobody does anything for me. I struggle on my own. And I bring my children over here. They have a better life. Not for me, but I have a better life for them. And I did it. Why some people talking about they bring their family and bring them to have a better life for them? What's so wrong about that? And somebody brings somebody else and want to bring out for their kids. So what's so wrong about that? Like I said, I don't condone the wrong things. I don't condone the wrong things, Andy. I be fair. It is not about politics, you know. This is about survival. To have a person live for a different country for a reason. You know? Why do you talk down to them like that? I don't care what ethnic group or what country they come from, you know. I'm talking about humanity. And nobody don't like me for that, you know. Don't go against me for that. But I talk reality, and I talk reality. Right? Okay? And somebody come and they build your country, they come and they work and they honestly work and they fight themselves into a problem. That's okay. But you don't talk down to about everybody else like that. Who are you? Who are you, man? I live here for over 40 years or maybe more outside the country. And live in other country too. I live in Canada for a little while too. Right? I know. Who you really think you're talking to? People try to fool you? Who you fooling? You're fooling me. Right? You're a fool. People who talk in Trinidad and talking this big talk. Right? You're talking big talk like I'm educated and I know everything. Man, you're full of crap. Right? You're a liar. Right? Okay? I know that.
I really don't know what you're talking about. A loss. I don't know if the callers and them are all lost too. Because we conversation had anything to do with anybody that migrate from China to go to America or anything. The conversation yesterday had everything to do with all Venezuelans what about the country. It is what it is. I don't know if you take it in the wrong prospect. Remember, we also mentioned that it have Trinidad and Tobagonians that migrate, and if they're in the people country illegal, Trump should send them back. Kendrick, you legal here. And you doing what you have to do. You are registered. You pay your dues. You do. And you move up there and we are happy for you. Just the same way I use Barapo as a example that, look, he's in the people country now too. But he ain't going there as no illegal alien. He makes sure he go there and he's registered and they know that he and his family is there. And I use that as an example to say, who in Trinidad that working, register yourself, go get work permits. And if it is you don't have work permits, or you're unregistered, get the hell out of the country. They're working in the bars. They're working in the groceries. They're working on construction sites. Imagine some of them working in lucrative jobs too, you know. Which when big onions are qualified to work in. And I'm saying the businesses that hire them should go and get them registered and let them get a work permit. So they'll be paying dues, the NIS and health charge, and if the money big VAT out of the money. I don't have a problem with Venezuelans working here or being here. But I'm saying by the law, they should be registered. And it was unfair to Trinidad and Tobagonians, the working class, to be paying we taxes and the government buying medication and them using it. They're getting through with all the amenities that we Trinidadians and Tobagonians get through with, you know. I use an example to say, why? What Trinidad and Tobago as a house? Trinidad and Tobago house, they say are 1.3 million people. We don't have a deficit budget. So they watch if Trinidad and Tobago house are 10 people. We barely trying to cater for the 10 people we have living in the house. Who are to go to school, light bill have to pay, doctors have to see, dentists have to see, this had to happen, that had to happen. We also have to organize and get them working, educate them and get jobs for them in we house. How would we be able to do that if we house barely catering proper for 10 people and we house just end up with 30 people, 20 more on we? That is not except we children. It's not except we people. Whoever want to go abroad and live and lead a country for whatever reasons, I want no problem with that, you know. Anybody going anywhere is to get a better life, and all who go up there, out there, wherever they go, to get a better life. I happy that they did. It are the smart ones that did what I am asking for. They're out there and they are registered. They are paying their dues. But who go out there and yes, and they still in register, and they remain aliens, and they're working on them, not paying their dues. When Trump catch them, send them to hell out of the country.
Bang, 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 bang.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
The Venezuelans is a burden to our country. And then I even open up to say that to check out all the unregistered Chinese too and send them back. The Chinese and them, or somebody that will lead the Chinese, they ain't committing no crime. To me, they're committing crime, but in a different way. Because all the businesses they're opening, they don't hire locals, so let me see, chief, the cook, the busher, washers, everything. And the workers, they are working with them, for them. The Chinese workers, are they registered? Are they paying VAT? Are they contributing to this country? And not only them, look for the gyro people too. Them Lebanese, Syrians, them who registered and working and paying the dues like all of us. No problem. But so long as they're unregistered and they're not in the system, deport them. And I have Indians from India and all. If they're not registered in this country, deport them. We don't have Africans in this country, whether it be Nigerians or wherever. If they're not registered to pay the dues like all of us, we throw them out of our house. If you're living in our house, you have to contribute to our house.
Bang, 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 bang.
So I think you get twisted, Kenrick. Me not on you. Me not on Trinidad and Tobagonians that leave, went out there for a better life. Doing the right thing. Are registered. Are part of that new country. Are you not on them? But I can't be dancing Trinidad and saying all of that what I want. Because I know it are people go jump up to say, but Andy, why so? It are Trinidadians will leave and go America. It are Trinidadians leave and go Canada. And to work and to build and to mind the family and thing. And there's aliens. And they want what's good for them. I want good for everybody. But the law is the law. So I will say I want that for my people to get rid of all these people that don't register in my country. But say, nah, but I don't want Trump and them to deport Trinidadians. Deport them Trinidadians still. So long as they don't register in America. Throw them out of the damn country. And if they're not registered in Canada, throw them out.
Bang, 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 bang.
You're going in a man country, go the right way. Right, some days take a little while to get registered. Alright, the alien for a while. But come at them as alien here for a while too. They should have done being in immigration, doing this, doing that, to get themselves registered, get the working permits, and pay the dues. Help build the house. Some of them are registered and they're taking all the money and they're only sending it home. Changing US, Chinese, everybody. But them is no big amount like them Spanish. And they're not committing the heinous crimes. But they are doing real illegal things in this country. The Chinese. How much of them are? Lot of way. All over the country. The Chinese are running away now. They take over the grocery businesses now. The way illegal. And being unregistered is illegal. What they tell them about? So they're doing wrong too. Who want to vex at me? It's up to all you. Everybody at a stance, and everybody at this. It is what it is. If ever I go into America, Why decide to go to live there? I put things in place to be registered. Might take a year, 2 years, but by year, 2 years, I take my chance. I will be ducking, weaving. Might take 3 years, however long. But ducking and a weaving and a hoping that I ain't get catch. While my paperwork fixing up. But if I get catch, I know what is with the consequences of my actions anyhow. I already knew I have a visa and going to America and saying I'm going to spend a week, 2 weeks for a holiday. And then I will decide not to come back. I don't know the consequences of that. I don't know I break the law. I don't know if I stay and I take that chance in America and I get catch. It's deportation in the tail. I will just hope I ain't get catch and I can get my paperwork in order before they catch me. But if they catch me, I can't vex.
Bang, 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 bang.
And that's all I want, Monsami, you know. All I want again, I'm not saying the people can't stay, you know, but I'm saying if they stay here, register, pay the dues like we, they all. We're asking for wrong. That's all I trying to tell them, Monsami boy. Oh, somebody will live in my house but not contributing to my house. Some people gonna say they're contributing. Because when they go to the grocery, they have to pay VAT, NIS, VAT. What do we call it? Yeah, it's VAT. NIS. NIS? Oh God, it's VAT. When they go to the grocery.
Yeah, VAT, yes,
it's VAT.
to the grocery.
And stores and wherever. Right, they have to pay that or wherever. But we, the working class, that still have to pay NIS and health charge and all them bacchanal thing. When we go to the grocery, or we go to the hardware, or we still have to pay the same thing them paying. What them not paying that we paying. We working, we have to pay with NIS and health charge. We have to contribute out of we pay. And based on how much is we pay, there is take VAT out of your pay too. Why should we train Begonians? Money coming out. Them working just like we. Some of them for more money than we. Nothing coming out of their pocket to the GDP of this country. It coming out of we own. But them mustn't contribute and live here for free. What country in the world only know things that's run like that, and then some only want to fight me on that way? Or they go out to their own damn house? Or your home, or your house? Mommy and daddy walking. Or your attention living in the house? All your catering for all yourself and all your attention, all your home, all your budget. Trying to make us have a budget too. Or you go dress so, allow a family member take you all your 20 more people on all your 10. Them know all they getting money to buy groceries. The light bill going to be more now because more people in the house, more ironing, more washing. They must come and more use cable internet, watch cable TV, live nice for free. And don't contribute to the house? That's all you're telling me? Watch Trinidad and Tobago as their own home. What you want for your own home? You want one for our country, which is our home too, but in a bigger way? I will be asking. Again, all I saying is, who ain't registered? Get them embassy. Get them registered. Let organize register. Pressure the business people to know songs are hiring them. Paying IS and VAT and taxes for them. And if that cannot happen, deport them out of the country. We don't want them here. Good morning, Lennox.
Very good morning, good morning. I see you're very vociferous this morning and you're echoing loud. President want to all and sundry, east, west, north, south. Are you hearing me loud and clear first and foremost?
Loud and clear. I wonder if people understanding why you're trying to tell them, boy, Lennox, the extra 200,000, 300,000 of them. Oh, God, is a burden on the treasury. And then it's still like the Chinese and not only them, you know, I saying all who want to register the Chinese and them too, the selfish. Them is the chief cook, bottle washers, everything. When they're building the groceries, them alone doing the work. When they're organizing and the high-end, it's them own Chinese people in there. Some of them who smart and just have one Creole or one Indian there. Go ahead, Lennox.
Well, you are speaking fundamentally to the state of the law. And if the law is that, then nobody could query that. However, there are people, in spite of the presence of the law, take chances. And you did speak to that as well. And you put yourself in a hypothetical situation. If you would have migrated, you will give yourself some time, but knowing full well of the risks that you would have taken. If that risk materializes, that is to say, the immigration and the because of some action that whether you planned it or not, whether it was advertent or inadvertent, the fact of the matter is that you are now placed on a particular list for deportation. So the law exists, and of course the alternative to that is that, as Trump and they are saying, you do the right thing. You come into the country, and there are certain mechanisms you can use in order to get status that would not attract the attention of the immigration authorities to act in a way that would be inimical to your interests and your intent.
But Lennox, one thing quick before you think. Like how one thing quick, Lennox. Like how utterly.
And every country.
One thing quick, Lennox Smith.
Has its rule.
Like how utterly they're telling me, K2. Andy, if you was a Christian, you would not think like that. But the Bible say, obey the law of the land. This is not something that, why talking as Lennox say, please, only listen to what Lennox Smith is telling all you. I am talking on the grounds of what is the law. It's the law. So, be quite saying, I want the law of the land enforced. I could never be a Christian. For real? Lennox, I can't be a Christian if it is I want the law of the land obeyed.
I mean that goes without saying that that cannot be an argument. The fact of the matter is this: that while you may be infringing the law, and because you may be attempting to mind your family back home or where you are, there will always be, of course, a sympathetic air, a sympathetic disposition. The authorities may take that into consideration when they are applying the law. But the fact of the matter is that if you're speaking strictly to the law of the country, and every country has its immigration policy and its domestic laws relating to aliens or people who would have found themselves in their country, born in another country or a citizen of another country, and those are the facts. Nobody could get away from that. To argue that on the basis of sympathy and empathy and some emotive, should I say, disposition, I think it is putting the argument out of context. The fact is that those are the rules, and if you are a Christian, one expects that you will not break the rules of a country or the laws of the state that you find yourself in, and that is And whether it is communist, whether it is authoritarian, whether it is a dictatorship, those are the rules. And if you breach it, then of course there are certain consequences that you will be subjected to. There's no way of getting around that. No way.
Well, go ahead, Lennox Smith. Morning, go ahead. You go ahead. What's in the headliners this morning?
All right, well, we have quite a number of issues this morning. Of course, the Prime Minister will be heading for the United Nations. The big secret, however, is who will not replace, but will act as Prime Minister in her absence. So that is something that has been kept close to her chest. Obviously, the prerogative is hers to determine and decide. The population will eventually know. Parliament will resume, and of course, Barry Panarat, who also has the portfolio of being in the office of the Prime Minister, and of course the Chief Whip in the Parliament as well. So he has this triple, what I consider to be role and responsibility. Has indicated that there will be a lot of fireworks, meaning suggesting, of course, that they have a very packed parliamentary agenda where legislation will be pursued, kind of apart from those that have already been pursued, but consistent with the promises made on the campaign trail. So we look forward to that. And then, of course, we have the presentation of the budget and the debate with respect to the devaluation of our currency. I think because we have a sort of quasi floating exchange, the term devaluation is not really used. I think they say there's a different term that is used, but for our purposes and the lack of getting it onto my lips at this point in time, let us say for that purpose a devaluation. I think they say revaluation or something of that nature. But that being as it may, there is an indication categorically by the current Minister of Finance, Dave Tanku, that there will be no devaluation of the dollar or revaluation of the dollar, and therefore people can put that to rest. However, of course, there is another school of thought that has triggered a response from the minister, led basically by the owner or the head of the executive director of NH International, who said that the money should be devalued, or put another way, that the Trinidad and Tobago money in exchange for a single US dollar should be $9 instead of the $6 or $7 that is now officially the case. There is an additional development there. I think that has triggered the central bank to make the statement that under the no one is authorized unless they get authorization from the central bank. And they have to, of course, sell or purchase. And therefore, that is an infringement of the rules I believe this and consequence and the warning, but in the media in particular, a lot of persons are purchasing and selling, which suggests that there's a vibrant, what is considered to be a black market for that particular commodity. And of course, it is no secret that Trinidad and Tobago has foreign exchange crunch. Dave Tanku's preliminary, to us at least, suggestion as to solve that problem. He says that the government has a plan. The first and foremost, of course, is to reduce consumption of foreign exchange by increasing productivity. So those entities that are engaged in export and earning foreign exchange. They want to put a platform or a mechanism in place to treat with that. And then, of course, items that would attract foreign exchange, such as the $4 to $6 billion annual food import to grow more food in Trinidad and Tobago, so as to develop substitute or replacement quality items, so that the demand for foreign exchange will now be reduced, and so in a sense attempt to equalize or generate the equilibrium that is required between the demand for foreign exchange and the expenditure that is associated with the acquisition of this particular product, because people use that as a business. And of course, the central bank, let me just outline what the central bank has said with respect to those persons who may be tempted to purchase from or buy from unauthorized dealers. The central bank is saying that if you get hoodwinked or you get defraud, blame yourself, because you have been warned. The banks or the institutions that you can purchase or sell foreign exchange to are listed. There's 13 of them here, but clearly there are more. But Answer Bank Limited, Answer Merchant Bank Limited, Citibank Limited, First Citizen Bank Limited, CIBC Caribbean Bank, JMMB Bank Limited, RBC Royal Bank. We have Republic Bank as well. We have Scotia Bank, Development Finance Limited, Massey Finance GFC Limited, NCB Merchant Bank, and the final one I have is the 13 of them, Export-Import Bank of Trinidad and Tobago. So those are the authorized would have given them the license.
That Export-Import Bank is who? The former minister.
That's a government bank. That's a government facility. It's more a facility really, but it is considered to be.
But I not young. That's not young family them bank.
No. I think it's NCB will be Merchant Bank, will be young family there. Connected. But export import, it's really a facility. From time to time, the government uses to give that bank a special arrangement with foreign exchange, where they pay in advance exporters, and then they collect the money. They collect the money from the importer in the foreign country at a discount, of course. So if it is that the item or the total amount you have to get maybe $1,000 US, well, they may well take a little $2 US for the service by paying you upfront, and then they collect from the importer in the foreign country, and they therefore give you the opportunity as the manufacturer or the exporter in Trinidad a little more flexibility and elasticity to do your business, buy more raw material, etc., and to pay your staff and all of the other ingredients that go into the production of an item.
Hold on a minute.
I thought it was important to treat with that, so that the public knows what the position is on these matters. Go ahead, my friend.
Go ahead, Colin.
Yeah, Lennox, you made some very good revelations there and explanation to the population of the country. But my question is, Mr. Awai was given a job by the Prime Minister to identify if there was a forex cartel, and he said conclusively that there does not exist a cartel. But I would like to ask him, where is the money going? Where is the seepage? Where is the leakage? Because I can further recall that under the PNM administration, they had given some leeway to foreign exchange purchased by businesses who are doing manufacturing, and indeed, as you rightly said, materials and things to carry on their process and business. But we have to look carefully at certain things. Where when $250 million worth of drug could be captured in Trinidad, drug cartels are not going to collect the $1 TT in our hand, Lennox. You sure? And I'm sure you'll agree with me that it's just a tip in the bucket. $250 million worth of cocaine in found in Trinidad. Okay, that's just an example on there, which is real. Where are this money going? How are they going to get this money, or who are getting this money to pay, and how are they paying this $250 million for that kind of cocaine? Somebody has to be getting that amount of US dollars. I'm listening. Go ahead.
Magnificent point that you have made. I want to tell you up front. And while the current governor of the central bank has said, but that was preemptory, meaning that it was before interministerial committee that was set up to look into this cartel arrangement with respect to the dealing with foreign exchange in the country. So I wanted to. So his statement is preliminary and not conclusive. However, if you track the Minister of Finance and his recent statement in relation to the pro and cons of increasing the exchange rate, you would hear him talking about a cartel arrangement. So one expects that there is a report which clearly is not yet in the hands of the governor of the central bank. So he was talking preemptorily. And then secondly, of course, the report itself should give us some indication as to the concerns that you raised. A very good point that you have raised. And of course, I expect that the budget to be read out will have a lot of information confirming what we suspected would have been a cartel organized by the last administration. So you're quite right. So just to take what the governor of the central bank, even though he's an authority figure and ought to be on the subject, but just remember that report has not yet clearly met his site, or he has not cited that report, which clearly the Minister of Finance have seen, at least in its preliminary stages.
Yes, Lennox, but the other question too is, I'm glad Mr. Tanko have identified certain areas where our foreign exchange, in the normal transaction of business and normal running of the economy, where we use a lot of our foreign exchange to purchase food especially, and he has clearly stated that our agriculture input has to be correlated to our needs and not depend on foreign inputs but most of our food, drinks and whatnot is imported. Sugar, all of these things that go into the production of necessary food are imported, and we do have to pay in foreign exchange. But the limitation that was created with the closure of Petritone has put a severe drain on the foreign exchange also, because remember, we have to pay for gas, which we purchase. I don't have the details of purchasing gas from Jamaica and oil from other countries or whatnot to keep the economy going. So that is a severe drain, and the sooner that we could get that refinery going, if it is possible. I don't know the extent of what they have achieved so far. We only hear that they are going to have it soon pronounced, as they have a plan to get the refinery going. That has made a serious dent in our foreign exchange, because remember, we're not selling as much as we are buying now. And also, now people want to say that I made a comment yesterday, and a man come and say, well, the Chinese not in crime and whatnot, and they always attacking the Chinese and robbing them. Well, if you don't have mangoes in your tree, nobody is going to pelt your tree, Lennox. So somewhere along the line, these Chinese have a lot of money, and when we do hear how much the robbers get is over 50,000 that they get in US and not. How is the Chinese sending back their money to China? What facilities are they using? How are this money? I'm sure it's not going the normal way.
So what I hear with the Chinese partner, most of them groceries opening is really the Chinese government, opening through the Chinese Association. And these people,
quite correct.
Yeah, through the Chinese Association of Trinidad and Tobago, And the Chinese Association of Trinidad and Tobago is who the Israeli actually bargain for them, get them the money, help them open, make the links. Yep. And most of them, when they're thinking they own it, they is just really actually the managers of it.
Well, I have heard that as well, and it means if that is the case, then there is no stress as far as that is concerned on Trinidad and Tobago's foreign exchange, because it means therefore that they would be getting their monies directly from China, which would, I assume, is in US dollars, and of course that will be a good thing for us here because they'll have to exchange it here, they will have to change it here, so to speak, and therefore the banks will now be the beneficiary or the authorized exchange dealers. I'm assuming that they are going by authorized persons or institutions to have their monies exchanged into Trinidad and Tobago dollars, and therefore generating or contributing to domestic, because they're not producing anything. They keep buying, even though of course those things that they purchase requires foreign exchange. And again, if we know that the source is the Chinese government, then of course that doesn't put a strain on our foreign exchange. But the earlier matter that the caller referred to with respect to food, yes, you are quite right that there should be a policy where, for example, sugar, which is a major input and a basic commodity that all of us consume, but of course in manufacture too. But we have stopped the production of sugar, and therefore there should be a resumption, at least for domestic consumption, and for those manufacturers who have an export market to send their products to. So I take your point, and that in itself will reduce the demand for foreign exchange in that way. Go ahead, my friend.
But Lennox, I want to put in something here from my personal experience. I had the privilege of help organizing some papers for Mr. Desmond Carty when he went to negotiate in The Hague for the termination of the sugar production, the sugar quota. We had a contract with the EEC to supply sugar to the European economy, and the termination of that. Yes, the African, Pacific, and Caribbean sugar producing countries, right? So we had to negotiate because the EEC, the European countries, were producing tremendous amount of beet sugar. Plus, at that same time, Brazil sugar was expanding tremendously before that is just before they turn it into ethanol. And the negotiation was that they terminate the contract, and they had offered some incentives to the farmers to tie them over and to go into diversification. And today I am happy to say that after so many years in office, that money was given to some of the not the sugar workers in Kerr Limited. That money was given to the cane farmers who had a contract also with Kerr Limited. All cane farmers in the country had contract with Kerr Limited, and that money was their entitlement to do diversification and tie them over with the closure of the termination of the contract with the EEC. And that money was kept by the PNM, and I can remember Camille Robinson Regis saying that money was not given to the farmers, it was given to the government. But I have read recently where Kamala Prasad administration had probably given out some of this money, which is long overdue to those hard-working farmers. It was legally binding for them to get. And I support the government on that position, but maybe it took them so many long years to do that. I want to thank you very much, Andy and Lennox.
Thank you. No problem. And I endorse what you're saying. But of course, you would appreciate that 10 years had elapsed because the promise was made by the Kamala Prasad administration, but that was, of course, between 2010 and 2015. About 10 years has elapsed now that the Kamala Prasad administration is back in office. Of course, with the collision of interests, that promise has now been finalized. And so, of course, yes, I too endorse what you're saying in terms of commendation to the present administration one, and the fact that there's a promise that was kept, and the PNM, of course, said that they would have during the campaign of 2015, but reneged on it when they got into office, just as so many others. And I noticed, of course, Andy, one time that Imbert is now saying that that stick was broken in the PNM airs, and it wasn't listening to the people. But that was a meeting recently. I think it was only yesterday or the day before in Degomate. Just imagine Imbert is saying that, he being, of course, a major contributor to the stick breaking scenario that the PNM was subjected to, quite apart from the confession of the current political leader, Penelope Beckles, who said that the PNM has lost its way. So they are coming slowly but surely to the reality of the fact that they made a mess of government and governance, and they were extremely dishonest, and they were not prepared for government. And now, of course, from time to time, they are to, excepting, of course, for the neophytes such as Marcel, who could claim that he wasn't there, but the fact that he has hitched his political wagon to the PNM shows that he is of the same, he has been cut out of the same cloth, and therefore we expect nothing different. Of course, with the collision of that promise has now been finalized. So, yes, I do endorse what you're saying, with a commendation to the present administration one, and the fact that it's a promise that was kept, and the PNM, of course, said that they would have during the campaign of 2015, but we negged on it when they got into office, just as so many others. And I noticed, of course, and one time, that England is now saying that that stick was broken in the PNM edge, and it wasn't listening to people. But that was thing recently, I think it was only yesterday before in Bigomate. Just imagine England is saying that he being, of course, a major contributor to the stick breaking scenario that the PNM was subjected to, quite apart from the concession of the current political leader, Penelope Beckles, who said that the PNM has lost weight. So they are coming slowly but surely to the reality of the fact that they made a mess of government and governance, and they were extremely dishonest, and they would not care for government, and now, of course,
Lennox, but you ain't seen you on that. I tell you, if you had on your phone, you will understand you on the call. I leave you with the caller, they only having all the debate, and you just stay quiet.
Yeah, but I was waiting for some kind of indication from you.
No, but so long as you watch your TV, right. You go see you on.
No problem, no
so
problem.
You see you are learn on. It's you there. All right, but I nothing. Go ahead, caller.
A pleasant good morning. And
good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Lennox, Mighty K, Director, all on the live stream. Morning to you, Miss Anna, Mr. Woodbrook, Mother Bernie, Mr. Gorners, Mr. Barakpur, Mr. Tunapuna, and also Mr. Lahokita. Miss Anna, like you, I always prepare my lunch early while having my morning coffee. I was just about to put my red snapper in the oven, and what I heard, I had to jump on here. I have been listening to this program for many years, and what bothers me is that we still have people calling, complaining on this program about things that was left for the past 9.5 years. Bus service not working, the place is dirty, garbage is all over the place. My question this morning is, where were these people for the past 9.5 years? Were they asleep and just woke up? Just asking for a friend. Next, I am still hearing people calling this program. and calling our Honorable Prime Minister by her first name. We have to raise the bar and put some respect on her office, please. We have to do better. Andy, on the migrant, on the topic of the migrants, let it be noted that is another drain on our forex in this country. These people are not spending Trinidad and Tobago dollars in their country. Have a blessed day, gentlemen.
Thank you, Andrew. Next caller, go ahead, caller. Morning.
Morning, Andy, morning.
Morning, Kenrick Prasad. Morning.
Hey, I think you misunderstand me, bro. You misunderstand me. I mean, for you, I understand that they have to pay. I'm against that too. You're right. Because they have to pay the taxes because they're using the country resources. And they're using all the resources in the country. So they have to pay the taxes, but who to blame? You have to blame the people who hire them. You know? And this person will just tell them that they pay the taxes and use the resources of the country. Remember, they go to the hospital and make babies around because I think that both not Trinidad and Tobago economy. I understand what you're coming from. I don't mean it in that kind of way. I was talking about something else.
Oh, well,
you know what I mean?
Well, you go ahead.
Right, because I understand I'm agree 100% yesterday. I'm agree what you say. If the registered, if the Venezuelan and you insert the United States, the registered and the working and the bringing the economy in the country is good because they're building the economy in the country. But if they have and not paying under the table, it's not good. And they're sending back money home and they're not putting anything to the country. It happens here. Right? Right?
Yes,
when I was saying, Mr. Andy, and look, don't get me wrong, but there are some people and not fortunately to have this kind of money to come legally into the country and do what Mr. Barapo do. They don't have the money. They're poor people. So when they come here, they make themselves as people and they work on the legal.
Go ahead, Lennox, don't know anything there. Go ahead, Kenrick.
And they walk their way up and they get registered. And they have a thing called, I think we talked about that before, a number that they pay the taxes, but they do not get anything back until they get their social security number. Right? But they have a tax to pay to contribute to the country. Right? They give them that you're allowed to apply for it, even if it's illegal or illegal. You can apply and the government give it to you. It's a number. And they pay the taxes with that, but you do not get any benefit. But the government collect money from you. I'm not saying everybody does that, but I just say. But what are you was talking about? And yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I'm not talking about all of that. You know? Don't misunderstand me. I know where you're coming from. You know?
Well, all right.
And
well, that means the truck,
right?
The truck noise.
You're right. But
the truck noise in the background, like it, and we hear too good.
Right. But if you listen to post or the post one, I was trying to explain to you. But I understand what you're saying, bro. I'm agreeing with you. I am agreeing with you because I work hard here. I pay my taxes. Think I want somebody.
See, you work hard, you pay taxes, you're a businessman out there. You're a man have truck now, you're gonna buy next one. You can leave up there, come Trinidad, go back out. You registered, you paying your dues in the country. But them here, they ain't doing that at all.
Yeah, but Ali, but you have to look at the both sides. You have to blame the person who hired them. And they have to be, and I'm agreeing with you, you could go look at it. And if they want to get um um if they want to get things done, they have to go to these business places because these people who business people are breaking from paying taxes, so they're paying the people under the table. I know how it works, and it's not them to be blamed too because they're supposed to register to pay your taxes for the government, and the former government did not allow them to do that. But this government have to make them do that if they want to stay in that country and work.
Understand.
Right? And if they don't, send them back. I'm agree with you.
Yes.
100%.
Yes, so long as they.
So that is where I was coming from.
All right.
And even happen here.
Well, he has said that you were making another sense. I suppose he has endorsed that, and he wasn't directing his argument to you per se, but was also being generic. I want to say, of course, beside me, on the back of me, you see, of course, a video being played. Well, that is thanking, of course, all the benefactors, the persons who would have donated books and monies and so on in order to satisfy our back to school program. I want to say that we have decided to make it a perennial event, meaning that throughout the year we discovered that, especially when we came down here to George Street, that before the term finishes, people will have exhausted their copybooks and notebooks and so on, and therefore we want to be a place where they can come and access when they would have, of course, proved that they have exhausted these items so that they could continue with their work without having to find funds in order to replace them.
You're going there now, Kenrick, you finished?
Yeah, no, listen to Lennox. Lennox was talking, so I just stopped.
Oh, well, go ahead, you finish. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yes, Andy, so don't misunderstand me, man.
All right.
Because
so you agree all them foreigners and them?
Listen, I said this, Andy, listen. I come here now. I would like to tell you, I work with a pay tax number before I can get my stuff done. And I work my way up, right? And I know what it's like. I know what it's like. I didn't have a set of money to go. Other people have, fortunately, but I was not Mr. Andy. I was not. I struggled, right? And to make ends meet, So I know what it's like to be on the ground. So that's why I talk like that. So we can't brand everybody. That everybody's supposed to, because you have, and you get yourself, that you have resources that you could do what you do and get through it. But there are some people not fortunate, and they have to go the hard way. It costs a lot of money to lawyer. $70,000 my newspaper to sponsor our 2 children over here. $75,000 US. And I know how much it costs. People have that kind of money lying around.
But Kerr, what would you say to those persons who believe that it is unfair that after people have spent so many years there, not registered, of course, ducking immigration, etc., and then suddenly ICE, they call it, that group put together by Donald Trump to, of course, get rid of them, or should I say, have them repatriated back to their country, even though they may not have a track record of crime and criminality as the criteria that we have set here in our own jurisdiction for the immediate repatriation of foreigners that may be here, including, of course, Venezuelans. What would you say to those persons who are still emotional and sympathetic to such persons who may not have done any wrong except, of course, be in the country illegally and got caught?
Right, I will answer that question. Some of these people here come like an H-2 visa, right? And some of them come like a work permit. They work in the farms and stuff like that, and picking apples and grapes. Do you understand when people who they have workers who are asking for workers to come over and give them a visa. Those are some of the people that they're picking up with visa. And in construction place, see, a lot of people don't know. A lot of people in construction place. And some of these people who is here is illegally for many years. I understand, Mr. Lennox, what you're talking about. And they should have applied. They should have tried to apply for some kind of status. And some people have the papers going through already and they pick them up. Some people who was ill status have the papers and they're picking them up. And some of them don't. You see? So all of these people that they're picking up together and they're deporting them with no due process. They're supposed to process them. They're not doing that. They're breaking the law.
Yeah, I saw an incident like that where the person is legit, but because they had some connection to one of the Latin American countries, they were summarily, of course, deported, and now they're having problems to retrieve that person to bring them back into the country. So there is a policy to get them out, but nothing if you make a mistake to bring them back in. So that person has found himself in a sort of limbo situation and a total and absolute paralysis.
Right, because it's not all of them when they deport is legal. They have due process going on. They have the papers inside, but they did not get the original, like the green card, but they have a status, but it's still deported.
Yeah.
So that is what's going on. It's not everybody that pick up the deport. They're looking for people like I will tell you as it is. Look, they're in Chicago right now. I am in Chicago. They're in Chicago right now. Walking around your brown skin or you're looking funny. They grab you. I'm telling you what's going on. People are talking truth. And when we go to people, they're legal here. And some of them have papers going through, but they get a work permit to work. And they go in these stores and them, all these restaurants and these stores and them, and they rounded up all the people, which they have legal rights. But they don't want to know that. They have due process with a lawyer and them. They do not go to the due process. They hold them and just deport them.
Yeah.
That is what's going on.
All right, thank you so much. Oh, go ahead.
So I just give you a little heads what's going on, but that's it, man. All right. So Mr. Lennox and Mr. Ali, I was not batting you, I was just trying to make a point.
Yeah, we understand now, man. Benrick.
Yeah.
I'm going by the law. I go by the law and I do it fairly. Fair. I'm a fair person. I know what I pass through here and I don't like it for somebody else. I like people calling me names. Somebody, Mr. Barpo said yesterday, oh no, nobody never called me name. You know what people call me? You know what people tell me here? I should go back to the country where I come from. You know what people tell me here? On this road? You know what I tell them? You know what I tell them? When you're ready to go, I'll follow you. Because this land here belongs to the American Indian, not you. You colonize and come here, so don't talk nonsense. So when they tell me that, I say, hey, when you're ready to go, let me know, I'll follow you. They don't talk done.
All right. Thank you. Oh boy, next caller, pleasant good morning to you.
Good morning to the ground report.
Good morning, Mr. Thematic.
Pleasant morning, Andy Williams and Lennox Smith, and to Mickie Kerr. Oh yeah. I loving this program this morning. To the point, issues and international issue. Look, let me go back straight on, Andy, with you, and Lennox came in and he weighed on it in terms of the immigrants and the Ministry of Labor. Let me put this out here in case citizen did not know and was not aware. Let me take my time. Every business that is hiring an illegal immigrant is breaking the law of Trinidad and Tobago. Lennox and Andy, let me repeat, All those who is hiring Venezuelan without a work permit is breaching the laws of Trinidad and Tobago. And I make a clarion call this morning. And let me repeat, Andy and Lennox. I make a clarion call to the government immediately to call on the officers in the Ministry of Labor. As a matter of fact, they could work together with immigration officers. But for the while, the Ministry of Labor must go to every business in Trinidad where there is foreigners and demand to see the work permit for that individual. Andy, you on point this morning, go to the head of the class. As long as they have the work permit, they know via that company or business, they're entitled to pay all the taxes as a result of that. And I'm saying this morning, whether or not if the Ministry of Labor, not the minister, because let's be fair, this government did not make 5 or 6 months in office. So which means the officers in the Ministry of Labor is not doing their job. And let me tell you this, there will be a mad panic and hysteria in Trinidad. And this morning again, Lennox and Andy, let me make the clarion call. I call very respectively on Leroy Batiste, the Minister of Labor. Shake up the Ministry of Labor. They must, the officers, and they cannot be sitting in that ministry. Lennox and Andy, let me say this, there is officers that is assigned for that in the Ministry of Labor. And they are there sitting behind the desk and not going out there. And I am saying this morning to all those who is hiring these people and hiding them in the back, it is time that immigration work with the Ministry of Labor. It must stop. And Andy and Lennox, I ask you all, interview the minister, interview the people at the Ministry of Labor, especially the officers in the Ministry of Labor, why they are not going to businesses and carry out their roles and function. As I take my leave, let me say this. To all those who is hiring Venezuelan immigrants and they do not have a work permit, every business, Lennox and Andy, let me repeat, every business in Trinidad that is hiring these people, they are contravening against the law of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. And there, my two brothers, Andy and Lennox, you all have a job to do to help our government to straighten out this and call on the officers in the Ministry of Labor, move from behind your desk and go out there and do the job. Good program, tabak it out and off.
Go ahead, caller. Pleasant good morning.
It's calling for aggressive action on this matter, Andy.
Yes, yes.
And of course, the other side of the debate is whether or not the time has reached for such action to take place for the regulatory, those who are responsible for making sure those persons in the regulatory offices that are supposed to enforce whether or not the time has reached for an aggressive agenda with respect to this matter. This debate will not stop because our population is increasing, our economic circumstances are deteriorating for the time being, and therefore the consumption and the expenditure ratio is widening, and therefore the income to sustain such is also, of course, is an illusion or is eluding us. So there must be some kind of equilibrium, and the decision must be at the highest level. The decision makers who have been elected to manage the affairs of the country.
Good
morning, Professor Andy.
Yeah, the responsibility is left upon them. Good morning.
Right. Before I get into my substantial point, let me make a comment on those venues that is coming to the country. You remember KCR used to visit a place that we all familiar with, and he always met with a fella, this Mr. Budit. Will Mr. Budit still have his product and service available? The fact is that is where a lot of the services came from Venezuela. All right, my more substantial point is I am the fifth estate, and the Lennox, you all, and the newspaper is the fifth estate. And I want to throw out a question. We had a mutiny, and we had a coup. The leaders was Abu and Rafik. Would the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago tolerate Abu being given a column in one of the print media every week? I don't believe so. Now, why are the experts continue to give Rafik a column? Because he had a column last week, and he was very, very aggressive against our current Prime Minister. And why I'm saying so, I'm going to show you how these two print media houses are the mouthpiece of the PNM. A couple of days ago, probably a week, you remember the lady who said jump the wall and deal with them? Well, we have seen her all over the place with the current opposition leader. We have seen her in the People Same Meter on one of the news television station giving a view of what's going on. That tells you. Now we have somebody who basically does not like and respect women in authority, Rafik. And he made a comment that was basically against the Prime Minister, castigating her with a comment for bloodlust and things like that. But one of the better journalists or hosts brought on the Rear Admiral, retired Admiral Richard Kerr, very highly basically accepted in Trinidad and Tobago. And he gave us his take on the mutiny. And what he's saying, what that gentleman has been writing in his column is far from the truth. What he's saying, what Rafik has been saying, his mutiny was basically to do certain things, and it wasn't to create violence. But what Mr. Admiral said, that is untrue. People died, and when they were leaving the Tetra, they had lots of guns and grenades and high artillery. And his commander was an Englishman. And the Englishman tell him he wanted him to man the ship that would have prevented them from leaving, Rafik and the mutineers from leaving Tetra. And what he whispered to him, he said, look, as a Trinidadian, I want you to do it. I'm an Englishman. I don't want you to do it. But please minimize the death that would have arisen from the action of you preventing that. The same time, Richard Kelshaw on yesterday and today repeated, said it was so serious in 1970, the British and the American had boats right inside our waters, waiting to come ashore if it turned bloody. And what you are alluding to is that the mutineers, even though they were supporting the Black Power movement, that wasn't their gripe. The gripe was their seniors wasn't basically, they believe, competent as them, because they were trained in SANELs, and it has people who were basically in charge of lower esteem, lower meritocracy who were not brilliant at them, and they wanted a change. They wanted to take leadership. It so happened that he was jailed and he eventually was freed, but he continued to put into the newspaper a narrative is untrue. 5 years ago, the Express basically interviewed Kelshaw's daughter, and Kelshaw's daughter said the same thing. What his narrative is to fool the people and continue to give a totally different narrator and play Pontius Pilate when he basically intended to cause plenty harm to overthrow a government. Just like Abu, consider Abu getting a column. I'm going to have a nice morning.
I see that, of course, he was talking about, of course, hidden agendas people would have. And that is stereotypical of human beings. Whether or not it will be allowed to flourish, whether it will be allowed to foster, that's a different story. And in fact, it wasn't, because, of course, it was preempted by loyal persons who felt it was what it was, a mutiny for whatever agenda, one of which, of course, the caller just mentioned, that is not generally in the public domain. So that is it. Of course, there are some other issues that we want to share with you. So the U.S. Appeal Court, for example, in the case of Steve Ferguson, well, they have upheld the 131 million US judgment against Steve Ferguson. Where he will go next, I understand that there's another opportunity to appeal, so he will be going to the
what 130 million with Steve Ferguson again? Just give us a reminder.
Remember in Florida when he and former Minister of Finance Quaitong were found guilty in the racketeering matter that emanated from the corruption scandal at the Piaco Airport. Remember that? Many decades ago, nearly 2 decades ago. So that's 20 years. And to date, of course, the appeal court, because the matter was pursued by the then government in the Florida court, and they became successful. Finally.
But all that money the matter pay the US government?
Yeah.
100 and something million? US?
Remember that was the matter where the judge said that Limo or Amon was a liar, was a perjurer, and so he could not represent the government. But he couldn't represent, he was representing Quaitong as a defendant, and suddenly as he get the portfolio of Attorney General, he then switched. And the court is telling me in no uncertain terms, not only are you a liar, but of course that is a dangerous development, because you would have had access to information which would have been between attorney-client, and you would have tainted all of that now that you turn prosecutor. That is how he was dismissed. But of course, the Trinidad and Tobago government had to hire a different firm in order to continue with the matter, which was accepted, and they were found guilty.
Go ahead, call. Already phone getting late trouble, but it's getting there. Go ahead.
Andy, Orlando here. You hear me, Andy?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I'm hearing you as
Andy, okay, let me tell you something. Let me tell a lot of people something. If you're illegal, you cannot work in this country because you have to give them your social security number. And when you give them a social security number, that's hooked up to something called E-Verify. So it verifies you if it's legal or non-legal social security number. So that's how it will start. Now, Bag 4 come up here with a green card, and he must tell you he have a green card because they don't give you no work permit or anything like that in this country. Okay? Work permit is given to people who are specialized, like in the medical field. And I'll tell you one thing too, how you can get a work permit. If you are a West Indian cook, okay? If you are specialized in curry or
If it's a West Indian, what? If it's a West Indian, what?
cook.
All right,
If you're
good.
a cook, that you cook, I will tell you why. There is no colleges in America teach you how to cook West Indian food. So you might get a work permit. No, you would get a work permit, but it take you about 5 to 10 years to get a green card. But you will get it permit. So when people want to know what English, talk to me. I know a lot. The next thing is to agree. He have a green card passport, so he get it everything with ease. People don't do that. And what Eric Kendrick said is true. You know, people have to dodge and hide. So there are a lot of things in this place that people don't understand, and they talk about this and he buying eggs for $1.99 and dollar store and $1.03. Those are rotten eggs. People don't buy them eggs. People who, you know, I mean, I'm not condemning them. I'm being honest, but eggs are very expensive. But that's how you get a work permit. You see, if you are a doctor, they will give you a work permit, and then they will get you a green card because you're specialized. Because I'll tell you something. My nephew he works in a college, and he works in the cancer research department. And he had no green card, but they give him a permit, but he's going to get his green card because the college will give him his green card because he specialized in something. But you cannot be a welder or a straightener or a painter and get a green card because they have a million of those people in America, right? The welders. My friend was welding and he couldn't get a green card. Why? Because they have welders all over the country. You see, they put the job on the newspaper and they advertise your job. If you want to be a welder and you apply a green card, they will advertise the job, and a lot of people go to apply for the job, they won't get a green card. You see, and what they do is when they register you, they want to know where you are. So when they're ready for you, they could come and get you very easily. So you see when basketball you register, they don't register. You come up, you have your green card. People have the green card. My friend is living in Trinidad, he has green card, he spent 2 months come back. I have a friend who's a citizen in Trinidad, living in Billini House. But that is how you do. They register them to know where they are. When they're ready for you, it is very easy to get you. Because they fool you. Oh, we register you, we know where you are, we have your papers. But when they're ready to come and get you, simple as that. That's how it works. You know, I mean, I have friends who work in immigration. I tell you, when people think I talk, and I don't talk by blind, you know, I talk what I know, not what I guess. I know that, Andy. But anyhow, tell Kendrick to give me a call. I live in Orlando, Kendrick. I live close to Universal and Disney, only 10 minutes away. Give me a buzz. Andy, Lennox, Mickie, talk to you later, my friend. Bye.
Right, somebody said, Andy Williams, that's truth what he is saying. $, 3 eggs, or wherever, I don't know what that is, to buy.
Basically, he's saying that his egg that may not have been classified as totally healthy.
So whoever buying cheap eggs is not good eggs again.
It's cheap thing no good, but good thing no cheap.
I
suppose.
All right.
That is applicable here. But the caller raised another local point, which is of course the SME in the single market and economy, and probably that is why the CARICOM is struggling with that part of the arrangement of the Treaty of Chaguaramas, the intent to open up everybody's economy to each other, because if it is that, for example, if you are coming here and you say that you are a carpenter from, let's say, Grenada or St. Vincent, you understand the challenge just as the Americans have, that if it is we have a sufficiency or maybe our oversupply of
we have enough
area.
How we go bring in other people?
So there's no need for us to give you authorization to come here to add to the oversupply when you have a dire demand of people who have the skill and cannot get work in the country.
Right, and in the construction industry, the Venezuelans picking up that.
Makes a lot of sense.
In the construction industry, the Venezuelans picking up that. A lot of them working in construction industry, and it have all these qualified people in Trinidad and Tobago. And the bars and the groceries, it have enough people in Trinidad and Tobago, whether Indian or African, to
I
work in
agree
the
with
bars
you.
and the groceries and all them thing.
Yeah, I agree with you, but the difference is this: that they are prepared to work for less. One, they don't have the constraint of having to contribute to the national insurance system. The government of the past has registered all of them and they make them, in fact, legitimize their presence, but putting unequal situation onto the labor market and therefore employment opportunities in the country. That is what they have done. And telling us there's only 40,000 persons probably to
I
justify
lie.
that is a small amount, so therefore it shouldn't impact negatively on supply and demand. But it's really not so. We know it's over 100,000 and counting.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, all right, go ahead, next caller.
Good morning, Andy. Good morning, Lennox. Barack Paul calling here. Andy, let me tell you
Man
something.
say you have a green card, that why you there? You ain't hard. You did not it hard.
Let me tell you something. I don't know if people is be trying to give you the history of their life for people to feel sympathy for them or to try to let me tell you something. Once something is illegal in the night, it's illegal in the day. Who want to support and feel sympathy for illegal activities, die them business. My philosophy in this life is here what? I just try my best to follow the straight and narrow road, guide my family and my children them in that same direction so that they don't have nothing to fear when it comes to the law in engaging in anything. Even self, when you in Trinidad, to bribe a licensed officer to get illegal connection from Tech, everything is bribe in Trinidad. I just make sure and take my time and go to the right way because I just always say, you see me, I don't want to get nothing to feel that, oh, hey, hear what? I get this by illegal means. Now, we just come and we just talk about, oh, how hard they work and you have to struggle and all these kind of things. If people choose to work hard and struggle, that is them business. I don't have no problem with that. You understand? But if I choose to say here what, I know what it takes if I need to go to migrate to another country and be comfortable. I know what I had to do. It's years now I working that and working with my family to achieve that. I didn't come here just drop and say, okay, now I'm going to get a job and I'm going to this and that and all kind of dotishness. And I not gonna preach no sad story from when I did come up here and I had to so I know real people who up here that doing the illegal thing, hiding and working for next to nothing, with the intention that anytime they get catch, they go back to Trinidad with a little money in their pocket. Who want to do that? Die them business. I want to come and bring my family in a place that there's things you need to do, things you need to follow, and there's a tremendous, vast availability of opportunities for you to live here comfortable. First, to begin with, people don't try to lay in on. You see, the dotations where they're talking about, oh, if you have a specialty, you could come here and work. That is nonsense. You understand? I could tell you that from facts. What people have to understand is that we education system is Westminster. That is a European thing. A doctor from Trinidad could go England and practice. He could go anywhere where that education system is concerned. And when you come here, they don't recognize that. You have now to get the equivalent qualifications to be a doctor here, to be a lawyer here, to be a plumber here. Anything you're doing, you have to have their type of certification that they will recognize you with. So this nonsense we're talking about, you could just come up here and think, look, let me tell you something. There are tremendous opportunities for people who are plumbers here, HVAC technician, construction workers. Now these people could be the best plumber, the best at that in Trinidad and Tobago and qualify there. But when you see a reach here, you can't go and say you got be a contractor here and earn the kind of revenue you really would be getting. You have to probably work for somebody else and be like a laborer or some kind of thing, or you might be better than the person. And if I come here and living comfortable and doing the right thing, that doesn't supposed to bother them. I'm not gonna come and preach, oh, how hard it was, and I had to do this, and I had to do that, and I them business, I don't care about that. But what I could do now is to give other people, like myself, who want to make a life in America or wherever country the thing, I could follow them through a process to show them how you could start at a comfortable level. You'd rather start at going doing washing dishes and this and that. By the same time you in Trinidad or wherever country was, there are things that you can do to get yourself prepared for when you reach here. Is in less than a month I had a job waiting and come and thing here. And I now that I am here and the job that I'm seeing so much more opportunities opening up that I could do like a 4 months course, a 6 months course, a 8 months course, and study move up the ladder. Likewise with my children and them. My daughter right now doing medicine in Trinidad and Tobago. She could have leave and come up here with me too. But at the time while she's doing that, I having her organize herself to get the equivalent so when she reach here, she could fit in the system. So when they call and talk a little of dotishness and all kind of that, them business, I don't want to hear them business. I want to, and let me tell you, the attitude of some people when they leave Trinidad and thing, no wonder they just feel that they're being discriminated and all kind of thing. I could imagine the neighbors, they maybe don't have no neighbors, no friends and things, just living in the truck and driving up and down and always looking at for and something to complain. Like them business. My business is where I am. The people around me appreciate they value your contribution when you're working honest and contributing. Look, I don't lining up. I am come to probation yet in the job that and they done talking about moving me up to our next position because of the work ethics and the dedication and the commitment I show in and all this kind of. I'm not boasting or anything like that, you know. What I am showing you is that how the doom and gloom when some people has come and preach and how much they went through this and that and all kind of thing. There's also a other side to that they don't tell you that because they just feel that how once you leave somewhere you have to go through the same mill as them went through. So they won't share the knowledge of, hey, instead of you had to go through all this hardship. Here what you do now. While you're waiting on your green card and while you're applying your process paper and thing, here what you do. Get online, link up to some educational facility, get yourself qualified, get some kind of certification so it could be accepted in America or wherever country you go. And then when you reach here, you would bypass that, well, you know, thing hard, and I can't thing, and I had to wash, and all that nonsense. You understand? So who choose whatever direction or journey they want to take, them is to write a book and publish it. But the book I go write and publish is one that, oh, hey, if somebody green in the system and they want to start somewhere and they want to start at a good level, I could guide you through that. I could tell you what it costs. I could tell you what you need to do, where to apply, how to get things done, and get your what you need to be on the ball, not just come now from ground zero and say, oh, which poor person that's leave Trinidad and come here? Huh? Which man who go, you feel like taking a taxi from Arima to Potterspin? For you alone to just reach is cost a good amount of money. It's cost of any $25,000 in Trinidad illegal for them when they want to come up in New York or something to hide. So a Trinidadian leaving Trinidad, it costing them a good bit of money too. So if you choose to come up here and hide and then when you get deported and thing and go back down there, that's your business. But I am saying, what if it is illegal? You know you're doing something illegal. When somebody leave and come to Trinidad, them Venezuelan, them know they're doing something illegal. You ain't no little baby that somebody put you in a pram and push you to Trinidad. You know that, hey, I am doing something illegal. So why you must feel sympathetic for somebody that know they're doing something illegal? And when the law pick up with them and deport them or treat them how they treat them, everybody want to feel, oh, it's humanitarian this and humanitarian that. But them same people, you end up at the end of a barrel of gun from them because they come to rob you or some kind of thing. Then they just want to know, hey, you know, illegal venue, illegal this, illegal that, committing crime. People have to be real and fair with themselves. Don't just come and want to feel that, oh, because somebody have an opinion and because somebody reach a certain way, I should come and say, oh God, boy, you know, I begging, I washing dishes, I doing this, I doing that, I begging for a lodging in a man place. Thing hard in America, oh God, and I don't know where I go eat. Oh God, look, egg is $5 for one, and I begging my neighbor, I go and thief a fowl. That kind of chippiness. If them want to go down that road, I them business. But I could give people a good advice to say here what? The opportunity here is tremendous. You have a skill, you have a trade, and you could get a little certification over here. Let me tell you something. You will be sitting at the bottom of the rainbow with a whole chest of gold. Once you want to work and do the right thing and follow the law. So let them come and talk as a nonsense over and over and over and thing and then criticize me whom I want to criticize me now. But I see at the end of the day when I sit down at my table, I just eat comfortable, and when I lie down in my bed, I just sleep peacefully, and me I just study about nothing. Have a good morning, Andy. Take care, man, later.
Very, very interesting indeed. Very interesting indeed. This
See, he could talk so because he paperwork in order. Kenrick, paperwork in order. Many of them who just call we program, that's come in and out the country because the paperwork in order.
Yeah.
You understand?
But
who paperwork not in order?
Category of individual that
you can't feel sorry for them.
It's not so accomplished, and you cannot help it. It's human beings. They are going to feel sorry, especially if it's family members. You would feel some empathy there and some sympathy as well. But it does not take away the fact, and I agree with all of the callers who are sticklers for the rules and the law, because we are rules-based, we are law-based society, whichever part of the world that you go. And it's unfortunate that if the people didn't put their house in order, well, they have to suffer the consequences. But I like the idea of Barack Paul saying that his willingness to assist people to chart the right path, the straight and narrow, so that they don't find themselves in a situation like that. Maybe he may want to invite, I don't know, persons who even as the situation is becoming increasingly difficult, that they may well have, and the people who are so inclined to go to the United States, they may have still a window of opportunity that he might be able to guide them with. I'm sure that he is open to that based on what he would have said.
Okay, go ahead, caller.
Yeah, morning. Part of the problem too, right? Which is bigger than the Spanish themselves. The one we had a bigger problem is the ones, the trainees that are actually encouraging it, right? The ones who just be talking about, give them a chance, we hadn't let them live. You see all that set of nonsense? That you can't be encouraging that them people is part of the problem. Let me tell you something. These people, boldface, they don't even know how boldface is. Them literally getting on for the benefits of the local people, you know. Right? They're getting on because they want to churn in school. They're getting on because there was certain kind of, look here. I wouldn't be surprised if they start to ask for pension and disability grants, because that is the direction it's heading, right? That's the direction it's heading. The kind of things them want is like if just now they're going to start to ask for disability grant and pension and thing too, and they even throw that the others. The people who encouraging this nonsense is part of it too. All them new just be balling out. Get them, they just work so hard. Get them a chance and putting them in the house. The kind of things people is be doing for these Venezuelans, they don't even do it for their own people. They don't even do it for their own people. It had a Ian Allen episode I watched. A farmer build a whole home for Spanish and everything next to the farm and everything. And that same Spanish turn around and rob them. Right? He even doing that for your own local people to say, oh God, the person live in San Fernando, he had to come up a Rima side. Let me build up a something and shed. No, they ain't gonna do that. They ain't gonna do that. But they'll be doing this kind of thing for these people. And they'll be biting the own hand that feed them.
Oh boy, that's our next one. Let's take our next call.
Yeah, but you know, that, I'm sure that is far and in between. I think by and large, the people who migrate for economic purposes, I think they usually would conform and they will be not as ungrateful as some are. I think those are the minority. But unfortunately, that casts a
They
shadow on
ungrateful
everybody.
or not ungrateful, you're not registered. You do your paperwork, you're breaking the law, so be it. You build a house to them, you feel sorry for them,
I'm referring to the fact that Trinidad and Tobago has given them paperwork. They have registered them. And I am talking based on what the last caller example would have been.
Oh.
And therefore, it's very unfortunate that that is happening because it casts aspersion on everybody and will certainly test the tolerance.
Now, Trinidad
of
and Tobago
the
and get them no
authority.
paperwork and register them. Get them paperwork, yes, and register them. But are they paying NIS and a health charge? Do they have a work permit? The Trinidad and Tobago government gave the Venezuelans work permits.
They waived all of that. They waived all of that. I'm saying in the context of Trinidad and Tobago, we have to be very specific here if we refer to Trinidad or elsewhere. Normally, we are talking, the most callers are talking what normally obtains. But we are talking about a different exceptional circumstance here.
All right. So what mean you waive all of that?
You have access to everything and you don't have access to some, including, of course, paying of NIS or work permit.
Well, they don't have access to doing the right thing. The right thing is, if they have access to everything, they should also have access to pay the dues just like we and be registered.
Yeah, but the point I am making is that the government has waived that, and therefore they have an opportunity. The real ungratefulness or being perfidious is when they turn around and rob and engage, of course, in criminal behavior, as the caller described earlier. That is where, of course, the government, whether it's the last government or any government, would have to reconsider that is a failed policy, and therefore not to be countenanced or entertained or pursued further.
Nice. Go ahead, caller.
Pleasant morning, Andy and Lennox again, Tabakit back. I hear in the conversation, beautiful program this morning. Let me establish that. But let's fact check a bit. Let's go back. Now, in coming into any country, based upon the immigration laws, they would ask you what you're coming to do. If it is vocation, if it is medical, and when they reach to the place, if you're coming to work and you cannot give the company or the business name, they will not allow you in the country. So right away, the Rowley administration from 2015 to 2025 would have break the laws of Trinidad and Tobago. Andy and Lennox, let me repeat this, So which means the Rowley administration from 2015 to 2025 would have breached their own law. You see, we got to fact check things. I hear everybody running all over the place. And let me tell you how dangerous this is. You have right people under CARICOM unless that they have certain agreement and certain policy. And Lennox, you're well aware of that. So what the Rowley administration would have done via his agreement and secret agreement with Maduro. Let's face it. And I'm saying that is why I stand firm with the Honorable Prime Minister, Ms. Kamala Prasad-Bissessar. Let us revamp this thing and let us have fresh registration and do the right thing. Because as long as you say that you coming to work, let me repeat this, Lennox and Andy. As long as you say you're coming to work when you enter a country, you must state this is company X, business Y. And then if it is not showing that in regards to the policies of the immigration status, you can't come in that country. So let me repeat myself. The Rowley administration was a lawbreaker administration. Rowley would have been in cahoots and backroom deal with the Maduro administration. So that is why Rowley and they and the Foreign Affairs and those who was in charge of immigration broke their own law. And anybody to challenge me on that, I'll tell them fact check it. They breached their own law. That is there in the immigration policy. As long as you enter in a country, and anybody want to challenge me on that, I say please go right ahead.
And
but
the new administration just have to put back the law, bring back stability to what is the law with that. And all right, and if these people done you.
Let's be clear here. Let's be clear. In every law, usually there is an exception. In the case, for example, when the cabinet banned, let's say, Slokim Carmichael, well, of course, and then they lift the ban. Why? Because in the law, there is the provision of the minister, and therefore the cabinet of the country can, of course, make exceptions. And that particular registration was the victim of that exception, where the minister can, of course, create the circumstance that we saw there.
So you're saying oversight powers by the minister, but can I beg you a question?
Go ahead.
Can I beg you a question, Lennox? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So what you're telling me, and I want to follow you now as the host, you are telling me this was done for one country. This is what you're saying. The government would have done this for one country, and all the other sovereign countries throughout the world, this policy is not there. I say garbage. I call on the Prime Minister to scrap it immediately. Lennox, this is what you tell in Trinidad, that this policy is theirs for the Venezuelan and even our African brothers. Lennox, wait, I hope you know the can of worm you're opening there. You have brothers coming on from the continent of Africa. And Dr. Rowley administration did not do that for them. You have Africans that is languishing in the detention center, and they would have done nothing. So I am saying that law have to scrap as this morning, because that law is discriminating against other foreigners. You telling me one country in the world,
including for CARICOM nationals, which we are part of CARICOM.
Thank you, Andy.
Imagine that.
That's
what
exactly
you
what I'm
telling
saying.
me?
I'm saying that the cabinet or the minister has the discretion to take such action, and there's nothing anybody could do about it.
So what you telling me,
unfortunate as it is, discriminatory
give me the mic for 1 minute.
as it suggests. But the fact of the matter is that they had the authority to do it, and they did it.
So what you telling me, let me ask the question. I don't know if it's a foolish question, but to me it's a pertinent question. You are telling us, Lennox, via this mic, and you're talking to the world here this morning, because you're on the World Wide Web. What you saying, the Rowley administration that came in from 2015 to 2025 discriminate against his own CARICOM brothers and sisters? Lennox, answer me. I need an answer for this. This thing is serious.
No, in effect, the answer is yes. In effect, yeah.
So
because
then if it's
the purpose for providing that discriminatory preference to the Venezuelans, they will argue is different to that of the other, whether CARICOM or African let's say diaspora. Well, I should say diaspora, but certainly
let me say
countries. Yeah.
Let me say this, Lennox. I make a clarion call to our beloved political leader and Prime Minister, the Honorable Miss Kamala Prasad, and to the government information section, which is listening because they listen all program. Immediately they must rescind that and scrap that, because that is a discrimination to the highest order. That one section, one set of people must be given this priority, and our own CARICOM. But Lennox, if this here does not smell corruption and discrimination, and I'm glad you raise it, because you raise it there, and it tells you, I am saying that must be scrapped today. And all Venezuelans must go back and get fresh registration. And the laws, let me take my time with this. They must scrap that registration immediately. And they must put back the proper law via immigration. That question have to ask, if you're coming to work here, who is the business? Who is the company? And if you can't, according to Andy, and let me say this to the caller before, who was saying that work permit only applies to a certain section. Mr. Gentleman, wake up. Who is your daddy? Let me say this respectfully. Lennox and Andy, as I take my leave, the Rowley administration had discriminated against their own African brothers from the continent, and also CARICOM that you put an agreement via the minister power. No, this is not fair. And I call on my beloved Prime Minister, bring it to an end. Let there be a fresh registration, because that registration with the Venezuelan is corrupt to the core. Lennox and Andy, good program. I wish you all could take me up on this, and if you all could respond to me. Thank you.
Thank you. We can respond because time. Go ahead, caller. Morning.
Time really flying.
And we're looking off at half past. We're looking off at half past 9. I have to reach somewhere for 10 o'clock. Go ahead, caller.
No problem. Hello. Yeah, I'm calling from San Fernando. I want to say something on the issue we're talking about this morning here. And I want, not that I'm disagreeing with what Barack has said, but life in itself is difficult, right? So let's just leave that there, and I'll go down. I will go down another road. I am agreeing with Mr. Tabakis here this morning, because the Rowley administration had allowed or break the law. But just apart from just breaking the law, I want to show you something. The Rowley administration has made things difficult for Trinidad and Tobago, because you see, they were doing their policies was just like, I don't know, it was all over the place, and they didn't know what they was doing or whatever. But I want to show you something. What also contributed to the Venezuelans just leaving the country and just running across here is because the borders of Trinidad and Tobago was never under control from the Rowley administration. So they lick up Trinidad and Tobago in terms of a lot of Venezuelans coming in, apart from the numbers that he allowed into the island through whatever, the ministry or whatever, right? The borders of Trinidad and Tobago was not under control. So a lot of other Venezuelans coming into the island, even down south here, down on the southern peninsula there, they're using down there as a thing to get into Trinidad also, you know. So we have it from south and we have it from the north, because they're using the Chagaramas entrance also, and they're using south to do that. So they lick up Trinidad and Tobago, right? So I want people to understand that. So the Kamala administration now have a lot to do in terms of changing the attitude of the ministries to get them to do the right thing. You understand what I'm saying?
We understand. Thank you so
right.
much.
Okay, thanks. Thanks a lot.
Yes, man. We understand what you're saying loud and clear. Right, so we just play Kingdom Calls and I'm short and sweet because we have only about 18 more minutes. We're looking off at our pass today.
Yes, hello.
Go ahead, morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, you're live.
Yes, this is Miss Arima here.
Go ahead, Miss Arima.
Well, listen to me. Okay, I hear myself now. Okay, Andy. I just called in to correct something I hear in here that is not right. When the Rowley administration allowed these people to register here, the first ones that get to register had the passport. They came in legal through legal ports of entry. So they were the first ones that got registered. Probably they had passport before the crisis, right? A passport was easier to get in Venezuela. I mention all these things to the people, but they don't hear. These Venezuelan people cannot get passports in the country. It's very difficult. It do not have material, and they have to pay corruption money of $500 US to get a passport. This is why they're coming in the country illegal. And then after, when they start flooding here, the Rowley administration said that they have to get visa before they could go to the airport, whoever had passport, and they would ask them questions, as Tabakit said, how much money you have, where you're going, how long you is no longer exists. These people coming in illegal and they have to go. That is all I have to say.
Right, but in order for the government to register them, they will have to have a passport, or you done gone. But if they don't have a passport, no, but then we will have to register them. We will have to take picture of them. We will have to take the ID, the fingerprints, or however. And I don't.
Yeah, that's what went on. That's what went on. They had the people there doing all of that, taking photographs. Remember, they set up that at the Oval, different stations, when they could not have produced it because, remember, they were fleeing their country because of persecution. And but the reason for being so hospitable is because Rowley and they were under pressure. Remember, they had sent back some 80-something of these Venezuelans back to their country on a military plane that was sent by Maduro. We don't know if they were killed. We don't know if they were persecuted. We don't know if they were mutilated. And so, of course, that pressure, of course, coming from the OAS and other democratic countries in the West, particularly the United States and Canada, created the situation where they had to do something about it to show that they are not sympathetic to the Maduro administration and the evil that it is. And therefore, thus this idea of this registration morphed into what it is today. Yeah.
Yeah, morning, Silver Fox here.
Go ahead, Tobago.
Yes, man. We have to watch at this in a bigger picture. We have to watch at it. Over 300,000 of these people is in this country, in this island, not no country, island of Trinidad and Tobago. We are not a country. And if we don't do something now, in 10 years, they will take over this little island of Trinidad and Tobago. Easy. And
Lennox, mute your thing. We hear in your background real hard, Lennox. Go ahead, Fox.
We have to understand, in 10 years from now, if we don't do something now, our own citizens will phase out. Because these people making children, just imagine 1,000 people from Venezuela is here. And them making children for we locals. Right? What will happen to us? Huh? What will happen to us in Trinidad and Tobago? You have to stand up now and take it because these people is coming in on these shores illegally. Right? We have to stand up. Otherwise we're gonna lose our own culture in Trinidad and Tobago.
Venezuela go take over here. These people have an agenda. These people are not just because of you all feel they come because of pressure. Something is not right. Something has to be wrong, right? And people talking about have God in you and have God in you and thing. This is not about God. This is about saving Trinidad and Tobago. This is about saving your home, right? Because these people make children like a rabbit does do it. They don't care. We will lose our little island of Trinidad and Tobago if we don't take heed now. And stop that stupid. Remember Rowley say, somebody touch him, somebody touch his soul. If Rowley was somebody did really touch Rowley's soul, he would not pressure away so much in this country of Trinidad and Tobago. And I want to say this to you. God take a rib from a man and put it in a woman. Right? So we are woman. God take a rib from Rowley and put it in Penny. Thank you. Good morning. Trinidad and Tobago.
Well, I had to play some voice notes because we only have 20 more minutes. So we ain't taking no more calls. Let me play some quick voice notes there. Some of you already call and calling back. Give others the opportunity to call in, please. And let me play some voice notes. Starting with Bossman. I played it earlier this morning, but I didn't have all these people lock on. So I have to play Bossman voice note. Did you get to hear Bossman voice note this morning, Lennox? You ain't hear the Bossman?
No.
All right. Well, you're going
probably missed that session.
All right.
Probably missed that session.
Well, boy, that man make me laugh. Right? So this, what? You're going to laugh, boy. They Bossman voice note. Boy.
Let me. You seem to be bringing some comic relief to the very serious topics that we would have engaged this morning.
Boy, I said to laugh one time, boy. I come on here, this kind of thing. When I hear Bossman say the talk, I say, but wait. They Bossman? Listen to Bossman. Listen to Bossman. Boy, this man. I like he, yes. I like he on the program, yes. I ain't gonna lie. He just give me a laugh, yes. Hear him now, hear him.
Good morning, Ground Report. Andy Williams, Lennox Smith, Mickie K. Andy Williams, I am appalled to see the state of my country and what my country has become. The country is overgrown with grass, weeds, and bushes, right? I am from San Fernando, and the place is in a terrible mess. When I sit down in my house, I get bitten by a lot of mosquitoes. There's no spraying, there's no cleaning of drains, removal of garbage is not timely, and as a result, no grass is being cut due to CPEP. Now I remember that CPEP was closed down by this administration, and I believe it was transferred now. Regional corporations are mandated to cut and clean the grass. Andy Williams, every single day my whole skin is full of mosquito bites. I had to spray my house with citronella oil, use my mosquito racket, because you see how the place is very warm and it's overgrown with grass. There's a lot of mosquitoes in the community. And apart from that too, the country is looking like a massive dump. Sometimes when you're driving, you're seeing piles of rubbish at the side of the road, trees growing and branches coming into the road, etc. And it is ridiculous. So I am wondering, what is the plan from here? Because there's no CPEP, right? People lost their jobs, and the country is in a stink condition. It's like a dump. When you drive through Oropoon Gardens, Cashew Gardens, right? Pleasantville and other places, right? You're seeing tall trees stretching over and leaning over into the roadway, and bushes and vines everywhere. And apart from that too, When the place is not being clean, it is encouraging a lot of crapo and snakes and rats to come into people's houses. This is ridiculous, man, ridiculous. I thought that seeing that CPEP was closed down, there would be an immediate contingency plan, but CPEP closed and nothing is being done. And the thing is, when the previous administration was in power and they were not maintaining the country, this administration criticized them very heavily and harshly, for the condition, but like this, and it's the same thing happening, and nobody cares. The country needs to be cleaned up. It is very stink. When you have a lot of mosquitoes multiplying, right, and flying and biting people, that is dengue. And I want to mention, the roads in San Fernando are at an appalling condition. There are sinkholes everywhere, potholes, swimming pools, ponds, right? Roads are cracking and no maintenance is taking place. Please address this situation.
Yeah, Lennox. When you heard that, man.
Yeah, I heard it. It's very comprehensive, but nothing that is out of the ordinary. But some people would say before CPEP what there was. But it sounds as though he's living in the forest.
No, but he going from...
As though
he born from the...
Are tall trees and grass and so on.
Yeah, but
and maybe mosquitoes and other vermin as well as reptiles.
But what make me laugh, he gone from being the boss man, getting rid of the reports. Remember when I press it, I say he go and say, no San Fernando bus, leave 6 o'clock this morning to come down to Port of Spain and ting. All of a sudden, the roads bad at a pothole, cranes, this, mosquito, dengue. That man just turned the whole game to the minister the bush Mako.
If one has to be facetious, he probably has taken a ride on a bus through the forest. Well, I say, I had to link it. Yeah. Somehow we had to link it. Because remember, he's the bus Mako.
Yeah, boy.
So I don't know if he went on a tour through the forest in a bus. And
like mosquitoes. He saw his skin full of bite. Real bite.
Yes.
He said you had to be using some kind of spray up the place.
Yeah, and in his home.
Yeah.
So one could wonder whether or not the bus is his home. I don't know. I had a guess. Because remember, he's the bus Mako. So I could only think about what he says in relation to bus. So when the bus is his home, he got a guided tour in a forest. And next to the forest, of course, he met up with these reptiles and insects and all of the flora and fauna that you will associate with a tropical forest. Let me put it that way. So yes, I think we could chalk it up as having a good laugh. Yes,
yeah.
It sounds ludicrous. Yeah.
Not only that, if not that, and he say he home, it had to be he didn't go take a bus ride today, and he end up staying home, and being home, he decide to talk about all that bush. The place stink and mosquitoes bite him. He say, if only watch my skin, all over his mosquito bite. Snakes and crappos all over the place.
And I got the impression he sounded like if he had any neighbors, like those items, or those insects or those animals might have been his neighbors. I don't know. But it sounds to me like he's living a reclusive life.
Oh, Lord. Man, only it's 3 minutes still. I have to leave here by 9:30 in order to meet an appointment for 10 o'clock. So I have to run.
I too myself have something to do as well. So I'm glad that we have, without conspiring, we have to leave early this morning.
Yeah, well, let me see. I see Karen sent a short voice, no days, nothing yet. So let me just play with Right, let me just play with Carnage. Oh, like Carnage singing come true. All right. Anybody else? Let me hear.
Morning ground report. Morning everybody. Andy, I hear busman talking a lot of bus. A lot of bus up, you know what they're talking about. Andy, what happened to Brian Manning? He's not a minister in San Fernando. What about he who always washing his mouth talks all kind of nonsense? Why did he don't talk about doing something in San Fernando for the people? He's not doing nothing for them. He's just there as a minister. That's it.
That's truth.
But
Andy,
more
good
than that,
morning.
he's there to take money,
Andy, really
possibly
screwed up.
under false pretense.
But you don't want to take my call?
He getting paid.
If you don't take my call, tell me right now, let me know so I'm going to call. That's the reason I haven't called this program for a very long time.
Oh God, but like I said, I try to call
Andy,
you
good
back.
morning. Andy, really screwed up. But if you don't want to take my call? If you don't take my call, tell me right now, let me know so I'm going to call. That's the reason I haven't called this program for a very long time.
All right, Mr.
No.
Ramnarine. Lennox, when I get
boy,
chance.
boy.
People that way, man.
Yeah.
You talk to Mr. Ramnarine.
Sometimes those things happen. That's rare. But
Oh,
I can assure you,
God.
Mr. Ramnarine, that is not the case, and that will be remedied.
Not only that, I tried calling back Mr. Ramnarine 3 times. 8:32, 8:33, 8:34. I even sent a message. 8:40. You see, I tried calling you back several times because I see he calling. I see many of them calling.
I wonder if you decide to accuse him of not taking your call, what he would say.
But I go screenshot this. I go.
All right, so Mr. Ramnarine is not that. None of us are that conscious and inclined to do such a thing. Ignore calls. It may be some intervening factor that would have created the non-receiving of the call for one reason or another.
Remember my phone get in trouble too. And then when somebody on a line, I can't take a call if somebody already on the line. So what I will do too sometimes, when I seen we regulars and them calling, and some people might be taking long talking, I will organize and even call them back. Because WhatsApp, so I go see, hey, this one was real calling boy. Bam! So once I see space, I call them back. Bam! When I see the space, I call them back. Just for them not to feel advantage or feel that I'm ignoring their calls or I don't want them to get into the program. Oh Lord, help me. Oi, Teresa, I'm coming to meet you. Damn if I do. Damn if I don't. Well, sir, you really can't please everybody. Anyhow, tonight, corridor transformation at 8 o'clock, yours to the Lennox Smith. Don't forget to log on to corridor transformation, okay? And when I see the phone get in trouble, I'll be beating the phone. Sometimes I organize it and I read in the newspaper. The phone stick and freeze up, blank off. The man was Lennox Smith. If the man didn't come on or Lennox Smith didn't...
We can't find him. I hope that he's listening. Yeah, so we can make the necessary arrangements to get you that phone.
You know what happened, man? You know what happened,
He wants to go with you, armed with his bank card in order to purchase the phone that you may or may not. It may or may not be of your choice.
But you know what happened, man? Somebody might have done buy a phone for me, but Lennox, the man called him, telling me buy a phone. Come hard on the radio, Andy. There's a man going to buy a phone for you. And so everybody was going to buy the phone from a long time. Say, well, right, look, Andy get a phone. And up to now, I'm still waiting. So I lose my opportunity because somebody
I want to say that I'm a victim of being lured into the sincerity that turned out to be, I would still want to say, a delay, but protracted delay that has created, of course, a situation where you are still faced with the dilemma of not being able to have an efficient phone. So,
because watch, it have people text me Lennox Smith.
Who was considering, let me say now, the person who was considering purchasing one for Andy, ignore my intervention, please. and call Andy and make the necessary arrangements. If the other one comes through, well, I'm sure that there will be use for it as well.
Right. Because boy, when you say that, the same day and the day after, well, people text my phone and say, hey, I was going to organize a phone for you, but I see, well, Lennox organize a phone. Everybody, but people is going to get a phone for me, and they say, well, they see, well, I get through. I say, yeah, I get through. Thanks. And blank the people, them boy.
Well, mine didn't take that long. I still have it. Look, I'm showing off here now. I still have it. So mine didn't take that long. Mine took just about a couple of days, and the guy dropped it at the office for me, and I was back to even keel. Because when I was moving here, I had somebody either took it up or I lost it while I was moving here. And I just made I made the statement and somebody offered to purchase it. Just as how somebody would have, or several persons would have offered you. The thing about it is I probably preempted somebody who would have.
And all of them forget about it. Yeah. Right, so
yeah. Right, so please ignore my intervention. I was of the view, was living under the view that the person would have delivered that promise long ago. That has not happened, and he's in the same position. And so, those of you who were like-minded and minded, then please call Andy and do human service to all of us, because I too am affected when
last caller.
There and can't focus on other
Hello,
things. Go ahead.
Last caller. I don't go. It's 34 minutes past. I don't reach somewhere for 10. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, morning. Calling to tell you something. That Trinidad and Tobago is a good place to live in. All other countries not a nice place. But the last regime made a good mess out of Trinidad. They was not doing the right thing. To give people what they wanted. They bring the Venezuelan and give them all the opportunities.
Yes, all the opportunities behind you.
Yeah, all the opportunities gone to other people. A country that have oil, if they sell their oil in Venezuela for $5 a barrel, they will become a billionaire. But they're not doing the right thing. They figure out the better thing to do is to sell coffee. Sell coffee where the boat was bringing coffee and they blow the boat up with coffee. That is where they sell coffee. But everything going to be all right if the UNC take over. If UNC take over the scene.
No, they don't win. UNC don't win. We government change.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, leave UNC to do what they have to do, right? Because we seen a better way with the UNC.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? Because everything going to be all right, but the time is taking a little too short.
Nice.
After 9 years, 4 months come like 9 years to some people.
Yeah, that is true, especially
so they got to take a little more time and thinking what they're talking or what they're saying.
Nice, but before you go, your man, I seen you calling from United States, and you are saying, obviously you live in there, but yet still you're saying that Trinidad and Tobago is a better place to live than United States and all. So why you are there and not back in Trinidad here, if Trinidad and Tobago is the better place to live?
Yeah, Trinidad is a better place to live, but due to the crime scene and nobody taking part in it, in the early days, it comes to a situation now that people need help,
Understood. Well, all right. Thank you very much, caller. I gotta go. Oh, boy. I really do. Trinidad and Tobago, until tomorrow morning, please, God. Same time, same place. On behalf of the Ground Report team, Lennox Smith, Michael Kerr, we are out of here.
The Ground Report with Mickie K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Bang, 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 bang.